Okay, give me a minute. You guys know what I gotta do. Get these other. Damn, these cameras are stiff. What the hell? Just bring up the file. Um, don't know what's going on here, but I'm having trouble with my computer already, which is not a good sign. But let me go ahead and start. Eric, good evening. Appreciate that. I know there's a German pronunciation. Adik von Adik. I know I'm not getting it right, but thank you. Loud and clear, and thank you, EZ. Thank you, folks, for letting me know you can hear the audio. We're going to get the show going momentarily. We'll fire up Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook. Last but not least, let me make sure I get this going, and we'll start out momentarily here. Some of these devices need to warm up, apparently, but we'll make it happen. We'll make it happen. Hottest country on earth, hottest country in the world is what President Trump is saying. So I do want to talk to you folks about that. Is that a good thing? Could be. Or is there something else to ask about it? Let's see here. Hottest country. Wow. I feel kind of proud to say I live in the hottest country in the world. That's something to be proud of, right? If it's accurate, I mean, and certainly if our president is responsible for making it so, because I think Trump said the country was dead under President Biden. So under Trump, we became the hottest country on the planet. So how is that not a good thing? So I'll go ahead and fire up TikTok and last but not least, get my other platform going, and we should be on in less than a minute here. So bear with me. Minnesota continues to stay in the news. It is crazy. I don't know if Minnesota, or better yet, Minneapolis, because that's if you're in Duluth or International Falls at the top somewhere, you're not dealing with this shit. It's happening in Minneapolis, St. Paul area. But I just want to say is I don't know if that area has a bullseye on it or whatever, but man, Trump is raining. He's raining misery down on Minnesota. I would not want to fuck with that. I've been to the Mall of America many times. The Minneapolis area is a nice area, but right now, I mean, apparently they're doing everything from homeschooling to even when it comes to doctor's appointments and shit like that. Everything's being done online because ICE is in their hospitals. They're showing up in schools. I mean, they're literally, for lack of a better term, they're literally terrorizing the community. People don't want to migrate around because ICE is every fucking where. So we'll certainly debate whether that's a good thing, whether that is, as President Trump states, is that making Minnesota safer? Because that is what President Trump is claiming. I got to aim one of my lights because I got a few shadows here that I shouldn't have, but we'll see if it clears up like that. Okay, so what up, folks? Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. As many of you continue filtering in, I think we're going to be live on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and I think there's one more. Whatever. we here. We're talking about. We got a few topics to talk about. It is the era of Trump, so when we're talking about Trump, shit moves at the speed of light. I could probably do 3 lives a day trying to keep up on what's going on with the Trump administration, but unfortunately, I have a day job just like the rest of you folks. We got to go out there and work for the man just like everybody else. So looking in the comments real quick, Handsome Evil Fingers says, Tim, you got too many inflatable, what is that word? Too many inflatable I don't know what that word is. You're flipping like crazy. LOL bullshit. What are you talking about? What is in dildos? What are you suggesting? I have too many inflatable DILBSS. I need to know what that word is, Evil Fingers, but I have too many of whatever they are, and you're telling me I'm flipping like crazy. I guess you mean fluffing, but let me go and get into the actual show. Couple things I want to start out with. Obviously, you see the title of the show. Hottest country in the world, says President Trump. He does give an explanation for what he is saying. I mean, I find it to be interesting. Nevertheless, I will give you a quick clip. You've probably heard this, but it's worthy of repeating.
Our country was cold as ice a year ago, and now we have the hottest country in the world. This is the hottest country in the world, nobody even close. If you look at even this last trip that I made, the respect that is paid to our country. We've went from being laughed at all over the world, and now we're the hottest country in the world by far. Our country.
So, what do you think? Do you agree with him that we were essentially nothing under Biden, but now we're the hottest country in the world, which is an incredible feat? Obviously, I would start out by simply asking, who views us as the hottest country? Do you think the UK, France, Australia, maybe the Canadians are like, shit, America's an awesome country now since President Trump became the commander in chief? Where is the awesome coming from? Who is viewing us in regards to him suggesting we're the hottest country? Who is viewing us to be so hot right now? So we're going to talk about that. We're going to certainly talk about the metrics that is likely based on. I want to hear from you folks. Here is another clip. This is President Trump once again. In addition to suggesting that he's made us the hottest country on earth, here is a clip of him talking about what he's done for NATO, and I do want to talk to you about this as well.
Well, I don't think they're going to push back too much. Look, we have to have it. They have to have this done. They can't protect it. Denmark, they're wonderful people. And I know the leaders are very good people, but they don't even go there. And, you know, because the boat went there 500 years ago and then left, that doesn't give you title to property. So we'll be talking about it with the various people. We've had tremendous success, and I've done more for NATO than anybody else.
And that's the question. Now, before we get into him suggesting he's done more for NATO than anyone else, which I question you folks, because I'm baffled. What have we done, or what has President Trump done for NATO? But you did hear him suggest that just because a boat went to Greenland, that doesn't mean Denmark owns it. So he's not only talking about taking Greenland, he's suggesting that Denmark doesn't even have proper ownership to it. He's questioning, how the hell did you get to own Greenland? Here's a problem. The people of Greenland themselves don't have an issue with Denmark owning them. That's like somebody coming to America and saying, how the hell did you get to own Puerto Rico, Guam, or some of our territories, Virgin Islands? How did you get to own it? The people on the island are not even complaining about it. So I don't think the people in Greenland want to become Americans at this point. I don't see that. But I know some folks, back when Trump first became president, there were videos floating around of, I think J.D. Vance went to Greenland or something. There were a few folks in Greenland wearing MAGA hats. My guess is they would be considered as traitors by today's standards. So you're probably not going to be able to find too many folks in Greenland, citizens of that country, walking around in MAGA hats. The time for that is probably past. Also, you want to discuss, got 4 topics
$19 billion at a...
Got multiple things going on. We're not going to end up discussing all of this shit, but there are multiple things going on. And this one here leaves me baffled. Now, this is coming out of President Trump's actions in Minnesota, Minneapolis, the Twin Cities to be exact, St. Paul and Minneapolis, which in my humble opinion appears to have a bullseye on their back. I don't understand why there's so much going on in Minnesota. I don't see where I know they're a sanctuary city, but look, I've been in Minneapolis many times, even worked there. I don't see all of this. I mean, because the problem is, it started out with the Nick Shirley video and the Somali. Most of the Somalis are actually naturalized American citizens. So I don't know where it's coming from. Um, Looking in the comments real quick, I got to keep my spectacles nearby. Handsome Conservative, good evening, says, actually, I just got done watching a video of several people in Greenland. They want to become part of the United States. Support your local liberal. Handsome Conservative, I would like to know the date of that video, though. Because when Trump first became president, there were videos floating around of Greenlanders wearing MAGA hats and suggesting they want to be part of the United States. I don't believe it's safe to do that in Greenland now, though, because the sentiment towards America is so anti-U.S. So I believe that's most of that stuff is from early in his term. I doubt if there's a lot of folks in Greenland now saying that, but there were people that were saying it in the beginning, so I don't doubt that. Here's Trump, another statement that I want to tackle with you folks.
Is incredible. The financial crimes are incredible. And the problem is because of the agitators and insurrectionists, whatever you want, troublemakers, but they're paid agitators and insurrectionists. Nobody talks about the fact that $19 billion at a minimum is missing in Minnesota.
No, we're just focusing on the paid agitators. I guess when he said 19 billion, he's about to get into fraud and things like that. But he's saying that the agitators in Minnesota are paid agitators. Now, the partner of the late Renee Nicole Good, the one that was shot and killed by the ICE officer, he also suggested that she too, the one that was yelling shame, shame.
Large degree, but by Somalians, they've taken it. Somalians, can you imagine? And they don't do it. A lot of very low IQ people, they don't do it. Other people work it out. And they get a money.
Okay, he does talk about it in the video, but I'm not going to play it long enough to find out. But the woman that was yelling shame, shame after Renee Nicole Good was shot, he suggests that all of them were paid agitators. Here's what I want to ask you folks, and I certainly would like to find out if you do believe President Trump that these individuals are being paid to protest and paid to agitate. And I would ask you specifically in regards to yourself personally, if you were dealing with a federal law enforcement agency in reference to ICE, border security, and all these other groups, customs, and all of these groups that are in Minnesota right now, if you were dealing with ICE, and I don't know what
they go out and buy Mercedes Benzes, and
if you were dealing with ICE, where they all had presidential immunity, according to the Vice President, J.D. Vance. And I think most of us realize Trump has ICE back. If ICE get into trouble, Trump has their back. I think most of us realize that. Kristi Noem has their back. Tom Homan has their back. I think we all realize that. If you're dealing with a federal organization that has presidential immunity, they're regularly pepper spraying people, roughing folks up, and pulling folks over for no reason, how much would you require the paycheck be to get you to agitate for them, against them? Paid agitators. If you had to go up against a federal juggernaut with presidential immunity, such as ICE, Customs and Border Patrol, all these federal organizations, how much would they have to pay you to agitate against a group with federal presidential immunity? Because that is what Trump is saying, is that they're paid agitators. Now, let's be clear, and I see somebody in the comments, Stephanie said, I'll do it for free. Well, you're doing it for free because you're passionate about the issue. He's saying they're paid. That means these people are not passionate about the issue. They're doing it for the money. How much would you need to be paid to agitate against a federal organization that had presidential immunity for an issue that you had no passion about whatsoever? Knowing that you could be bear sprayed, tackled, detained, arrest without cause, etc., etc. How much would you need to be paid to agitate against, some cases, 50-1 odds? Do you believe President Trump when he suggests they're paid agitators? Last but not least, I do want to also ask, and this is one more video I want to play before we start taking calls and certainly tackling the comments. This is, in my opinion, this looks awful, bloody awful. But I'll let you can hear the audio if you can't see the video. The audio tells you quite a bit.
I'm just chilling at my job in the Uber, and this lady just pulls over, and she's like, "Are you a U.S. citizen?" In a parking lot at work. That's the officer lady, and they just shot somebody right now in Minnesota. Imagine that. Are we in Germany? Why are you guys doing this?
You tell me, sir.
Why are you guys going around just asking people like at work whether they're U.S. citizens or not? Are you guys not supposed to be patrolling the border?
Do you want to answer the question or not?
Why would I answer you? Where's your warrant?
We're running a plate.
Run your plates. You do whatever you want.
You can report. Feel free.
Yeah. That's kind of crazy though, right? Like you guys leave the border and go harass people based on their skin color? Ain't that a shame? Are you doing this to everybody or is it just black people? Come on now, you know what it is. You guys just murdered somebody in cold blood in this city today, and God brought you guys to me at work. I'm literally working here. You know, I've been sitting here since 10 a.m. waiting for a ride, and right now I'm getting rides. And if I leave, I'm afraid you motherfuckers might just shoot me.
Are you a U.S. citizen, sir?
Why would I answer you?
Because if you're not a citizen of this country, you have to have your immigration.
Why would I not be a citizen of this country, man?
What a ridiculous question. Why would I have an immigration?
Are you a citizen? Are you a dude? Listen, I'm here working. You're working too, right?
Right.
So go. It says U.S. Border Patrol. This is not the border. Go to the Canada border or the Mexico border.
If you were from
I'm
this-
working, dude.
If you were from this country,
What do you mean? What do you mean if I'm from this country?
Okay, and they obviously go back and forth, but you can clearly see that they just simply stopped this guy, or better yet, approached this guy and started demanding he prove citizenship for literally no legal reason whatsoever. No legal reason whatsoever. He clearly wasn't committing a moving violation. He wasn't agitating or protesting or doing anything. He's just sitting in his car, and they walked up to him, and now they're holding him up. As you hear him say, "I'm afraid to drive out," because his words were, "You motherfuckers might shoot me." So what I want to ask, simply put, because under President Biden, the Trump administration suggests that as many as 18 million illegals entered this country. So we could have as many as 18 million people here that we have not vetted, we don't know who the hell they are, et cetera, et cetera. I want to ask you folks, in order to get under control who's in this country that should be in and who should not be, and find out who is citizens and who is not, do you believe what is happening here is acceptable? To find out who is who, do you support stopping folks at random with no reason whatsoever and demanding they prove they are American citizens? Do you support what we are seeing here? Now, I'm going to add on, I know MAGA's not going to like this. I know my beloved MAGA isn't going to favor this, but fact is it's happening to black and brown people. There's a ton of these videos, and it's very uncommon to see anybody white going through this. The white folks are protesting like Renee Nicole Good, but they're not being asked to prove citizenship. So do you support doing this until we figure out who is in the country that should be and who should not be? Giving the police essentially the power to stop anyone and everyone without cause anytime they want. Now keep in mind, they're not just stopping people in cars, they're knocking on your doors at your house too. They're entering your place of work, your place of business, your place of worship, where your children go to school. To get immigration under control, do you support accosting Americans, approaching Americans, and demanding proof of citizenship without any cause or reason whatsoever? That is our show. As always, we don't block, ban, or censor anyone. We are MAGA friendly, always have been, always will be. Our comments go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with Q. This is uncensored programming. Always has been, always will be. You can be critical of anyone on this program, including yours truly. That's how free speech works. So we'll start out looking in the comments. I don't control my life, but it is more easier if you show your identification to prove you are not illegal. That simple, says Hashan. Yeah, it is more simple, but it is also more frightening to have cops pull up on you for no reason at all. You're not doing anything. He's just sitting in his car waiting for the next Uber trip, and suddenly he's surrounded by ICE agents. It would be easier, I suppose, for him to show his ID. I agree with that. But what's next? You favor your Second Amendment rights? Should they just be able to stop anybody at random and, I want to see your registration, I want to see your permit? No reason at all, for no cause. Our tax dollars are paying for this. Hell yeah, they are. And you're paying a lot with over 3,000 agents in Minnesota. They're all needing hotels. They're getting per diem for meals. Yeah, their cars need to be fueled and shit. Yeah, you're paying a lot in tax dollars for what's going on in Minnesota. And make no mistake about it, eventually there will be a day of lawsuits. You're going to pay for that too. The woman that was pulled out of her car yelling, "I'm disabled," on the way to a doctor's appointment, bona fide American citizen, had her car window smashed, seatbelt cut, put on the ground. No reason at all. She didn't get out the car fast enough, so they did all that to her. That woman will one day receive a lawsuit. She will one day receive. I will submit to you, remember Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the alleged MS-13 member that was deported to CCOT, and then the Trump administration tried to deport him to Africa? That guy's going to get a lot of money one day. That guy has a legitimate lawsuit. It's just waiting for the Trump administration to step out of the way. And there's going to be a bunch of those folks. Anyway, look at it in the comments. The police should be doing more, and if they would, maybe, just maybe, crime would not be as bad in this country, says Anthony. So, do you believe the police should be able to do what's happening in Minnesota? Just stop people at random for no reason at all in effort to lower crime? Edward James Kenway, thank you for your support and generosity. He says, this country was built by people of European stock for themselves and for their posterity. Anyone that is not European stock or of their posterity should not be welcome here. Wow. So you're saying the Europeans built the country for themselves, and anybody that's not European should not be welcome here, or I'm going to add in there, should not feel welcome here. I'm curious. Let me know in the comments. Should not be welcome here, or they should not feel welcome here. Let me go back to the box, or starting out with the box. We'll go straight to For the Great. Good evening, For the Great. Let me make sure I got volume on this. I haven't even checked it there. Here we go. For the Great, good evening.
What's up, Tim? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Good to have you on. Would you support, because under Biden, they say 18 million undocumented illegals came in this country. Would you support, in effort to get those folks out of here, random, unwarranted stops in demanding for paperwork of anybody they want by ICE? Would you support that?
Hell no, man. I've been out here for a while. My classic line is I would have paid $20 a gallon.
That is you. I do remember you saying that you would have rather paid $20 a gallon for gas than have Trump get reelected. I do. You still feel that way?
Yeah. I mean, look what we're dealing with, man. I mean, this is crazy.
Well, according to President Trump,
they keep this shit up.
Well, according to President Trump, we're currently dealing with the hottest country in the world.
Hold on, man. Hold on. Oh, give me a second.
I mean, that's got to be a good thing. While he's taking a second, you have police all over all the time, and the crime is awful. I'm Norwegian. I haven't seen a police officer in 3 years, and we have close to no crime. Why is that? Oh, wow. Well, listen, when I lived in Australia, it was much lower crime than America too, but Some of it is diversity. Some of it is probably lack of education, definitely poverty, mixing poor people real close in proximity to people that are wealthier. It's a much more diverse climate in America than most countries. Whether we're talking race, whether we're talking wealth divide, whether we're talking language, you're putting a whole lot of differences in the pot together. That's not likely happening where you're at. Are you there for the great?
Yeah, I'm here, man.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that.
So we're trying to get immigration under control. Trump is suggesting he's the best that's ever been at doing that. What is he doing wrong?
What's he doing wrong?
I mean,
I know you're asking the question, but
Yeah.
I mean, fuck, we see it every day. I mean, Minnesota, they just pulled over some off-duty officers the other night.
well,
You know,
how do we?
I know you see those things when they do those audits. I've seen them when they run up on FBI guys.
But they don't.
So
Well,
it's
with
only a
these
matter of
folks,
time.
yeah, but these folks have presidential immunity, so they're not worried about the audit or any of that shit. I mean, Trump's going to let them get away with this. So, if but how do we get the illegal immigration problem in America under control if we do not let them do what Trump is allowing them to do?
Well, see, the problem has always been capitalism. That's always been the fucking problem. You had a guy just talking about, Europeans built this shit. Really?
Mhm.
What the fuck they build? The boats to bring us over here? I mean, what the fuck did they build?
Well, he is correct in saying what. I mean, the Europeans did build the country. They may have mistreated people and colonized and raped and murdered people in the process, but they were the overall controllers of how America was built.
Okay, so we want to get out. Okay, let's follow that logic.
I mean,
So
is that?
let's
But
get on
is
to
that
what
not
the
true?
fucking place.
Huh?
Hey, I don't disagree.
Yeah.
But let's just call it what it is then. If that's what we're gonna go with, then okay. We built this motherfucker for y'all. Now y'all putting us out?
Well,
is that what we doing?
I don't believe they are officially putting blacks out. They're putting out the people that were here that have no legal right to be here. And I do agree with you. Many of the illegal immigrants are partially responsible for doing things for the country as well, including paying tax money that they'll never recoup. But they knew they were here illegally. They played the game. They knew that eventually if they got caught, what could happen?
Yeah, but that's why I always thought the term illegally, because I know people that do illegal shit, but it's not illegal until they get caught. So, which means that a due process or something had to take place, some kind of investigation or something. So, why that's happening is because we're just pulling over whoever the fuck is brown or black or with an accent,
Well, let's
and then you're gonna have problems.
but let's be clear. If you're looking for illegal immigrants, the statistical probability that the person you're looking for is going to be black or brown and have an accent is pretty high, is it not?
Okay, hey, let's run with the statistics. If we looking for pedos, should we pull over every white dude in the goddamn truck?
But
I think that shit has changed real fast.
well, fortunately for many, ICE is not on the lookout for pedos, so they're not looking for that. I get your point, though. I do not argue that point. Wasn't expecting you to go
So
there.
I'm just saying, man.
Go ahead.
No, what I'm just saying, man. Like, rinse, wash, repeat with this guy, man. I told you before, he takes small issues and make big issues and fix them when people think he did something. I mean, when you talk about crime and the illegals, I think it's under 1% that they're fucking, of crime that they're responsible for. You come to the LGBT, the guys playing sports with girls. Another less than 1% fucking issue that people are just all over the hills about. Oh, he solved it. He solved nothing because it was nothing to begin with.
Well, you got to give a man credit. He is really good at blowing up those sort of issues. I mean, you're right. I was saying that before Trump got elected. I mean, I don't think anybody that watches me is dealing with a girl that is in school playing sports against a biological boy. I don't even think most of us know anybody dealing with that. It is so far down in the weeds as to who it affects, but it is a major issue on the right. Before we continue, I want to respond to Handsome Evil Finger says, Tim, America is not great anymore. When people start hiding, it feels like COVID-19 in Minnesota. Nothing isn't different or new anymore. We're living in dark times, just like Demolition Man, the movie. That was a good movie with Stallone and Wesley Snipes. But what are you saying? Do you feel, what are you saying? Do you agree with him that we're living in dark times under Trump?
Yes, I mean, what we thought was going to happen when we elected this man. I heard him. The veil wasn't over my eyes. That's why I told you from the jump. Give me $20 gas.
So what's happening right now? You actually expected this, because I'm going to admit I did not. I expected Trump to lead like a conservative, be boisterous, talkative, but he's one way far to the right. I do see remnants of the Third Reich developing. I actually do see that. You expected this.
Yeah, anytime a guy says I need loyalists, you know, people always talking about DEI and shit like this. The only qualifications these people need was, are you willing to kiss the ring? That was it.
Yeah.
And you see it. You see it now. I mean, they're going after Comey. They went after Sky. All the shit falls apart because they can't do the fucking job. It's all bullshit, man.
Then I have to ask you, what does he mean based on your statement? What's confusing me, because I'm hearing you speak on it. So based on what you're saying, I don't get where he's coming from. What does he mean when he suggests that America is currently the hottest country in the world?
It means we open for business. That means he's open for business. The crypto, I mean, all the bullshit. I mean, think of any other president that say, hey, we got 500 million, but I'm going to put it over here. What? What the fuck?
I mean, the man is...
president.
Go ahead.
You're not Trump Industries. You're fucking United States president. Now, as Trump Industries, do what the fuck you want. But there's no accountability. That's how I knew this was going to be some bullshit. That's why when I started with the loyalists, there's no checks and balances.
Yeah.
There's none.
Yeah, and I think it is kind of difficult for anybody, even supporters of Trump, to argue that there is proper checks and balances in place. But I think I'm certain MAGA favors what's happening, so they don't think there needs to be any checks and balances, because they tend to believe Trump is better for operating America than anybody in Congress anyway. So ain't nobody we don't necessarily need anybody to perform any checks and balances on Trump, because he's the best man for the job anyway.
That's why I said these people are in a fucking code. There's nowhere else in their life where checks and balances, not having checks and balances is okay. You raise your kids, no checks and balances. you go out and just slap motherfuckers up, no checks and balances. I mean, go ahead and try that shit. What they say, fuck around in a small town, go smack Tim at 6'6", 300 pounds.
Well, listen, I mean, but when you look at what ICE is coming down the street with, they can smack anybody they want. I mean, you got 50 motherfuckers come at you and they got M4s and shit like that. I don't care how much of a Second Amendment proponent you are, you can't do shit with that. I mean, and they could easily call up another 100. They could easily call up another 100 more people if they needed to. What can you do?
What can you do? You put the states and the cities. You know, they supposed to protect the citizens, and if they got to fight against the federal government, something's going to break.
Is there a way to not to quote Cher, but turn back time? How can we get back to where we used to be, or are we permanently altered?
We're permanently altered. If people go through traumatic things in their life,
right,
they don't forget them. You know, they may get better, 10 time may heal some wounds, but they never forget the shit. There's always a scar mentally or physically that you can always return back to. So, when I hear people say 20 years, this shit right here might set us back 50 years or we may never recover.
What about Hanson Conservative in the comments? He says, I hope we are indeed permanently altered. Nobody wants to go back to the way it was anyhow. So what he's suggesting is we're permanently altered for the better. Who would want to go back?
Okay, buddy. Okay, buddy. Like I said, the pendulum going to swing the other side, and then what? Then what? This is a fucking can that I don't think people are thinking too far ahead in. If this whole MAGA thing lasts for 16 years, just say, usually the swing back is even further to the other side.
That's what we're dealing with now. Is they believe that Biden went too progressive, and this is the swing back leaning right.
Well, I don't remember Biden snatching fucking MAGA hats off people's head and put them in the back of a car because they wore MAGA hats. Or spoke with a MAGA fucking accent. You know what I mean? I don't remember that. I don't remember Joe saying that, you know, he hated fucking Republicans. I don't remember that. You know, as a president, you know, he throws a fucking rally at CK's funeral. I mean, half staff and shit, but we lose people close to us that's in government, and he has nothing to say. He just said today anything about the girl that got popped up that was remotely like he gave a shit.
No, I don't think he did.
So I mean, when he got that AI ear scratch and the other quote unquote attempts, you know what I mean? People like, oh, you're trying to take out our president. Why would you give a fuck about a person that doesn't give a fuck or has any remorse for you? He hasn't got any races with me. I mean, I don't wish nothing bad to happen to anybody. But unless you're in the cult, and I did say cult, nobody's gonna give a fuck what happens to that man.
So you believe if something happens to Trump, you know, life altering or unfortunately life ending, you're saying outside of cult members, nobody would give a fuck, is your words.
Who does he give a fuck about?
He says he gives a fuck about America. He says he gives a fuck about the country.
Hey, we got, you know, citizens here. You know, he's stopping citizenship ceremonies. He's stopping Americans that grant that citizenship. He's pulling Americans going through the citizenship out of courts. I'm American. He don't like me because I fuck with Democrats. He said he hated me, Tim.
Yeah.
And I'm hurt about that.
Yeah.
so what the fuck, bro?
I wish I could argue with you, but he did indeed say he hates Democrats. Obviously you said something similar at Charlie Kirk's funeral too, or a memorial service or whatever the hell that was in a stadium that size, but he did say something like that there as well. But Biden has, you know, said a few things, called him an island of garbage, and I mean, Biden has said a few things about Republicans, not to the level of Trump, but he said a few things.
But he was an old, doddering, you know, stuttering old man.
You're not gonna get away with that. He said it.
I didn't say he didn't. I'm just saying I'm going with their line of thoughts. Hey, you know, you gotta let the old man, you know, he's drooling and not there. So those things are gonna happen. But once again, you know, being presidential, when he got the AI ear scratcher tip on.
Wait a minute. What the hell are you suggesting? An AI ear scratch? You're talking about the assassination attempt in Pennsylvania. Are you telling me something didn't really happen?
Well, Tim, we're living in a time where there's alternative facts. No, I didn't make that term up. That's what they said.
Yes, that is Kellyanne Conway.
I think he's saying everything is short that if he's in those files, I'm sure he's going to say it's AI. I mean, you know, he said he can drop it. Why can't I? That's all I'm saying.
So you actually are patterning yourself after President Trump.
Hey, he's great, right? I mean, I want to co-follow him. Why wouldn't I do what he do?
He ain't. Well, according to him, he ain't.
Money.
He's not great. He's the best there's ever been, according to Trump, because he is also suggesting that, and I want to ask you this, I played the video, paid agitators in Minneapolis. What say you?
Once again, some more bullshit he pulls out his head. Like you said, he's a hell of a salesman. A paid agitator? Yeah. So what the fuck was J6? Who paid them? They look pretty professional to fucking me.
Well, they were paid. They were paid by the head. They were paid on January 6th. They were paid by the likes of Antifa and Black Lives Matter, says the Trump administration.
Yeah, that makes sense. So he just let all those fucking BLM and Antifa people out.
I didn't say it. Yeah, I can't make it make sense, but he did say that.
Yeah, he got this shit figured out, bro.
Yeah,
he got it figured out.
Yes, some of it I cannot make it make sense, but it does. I will say it does make sense to MAGA, though.
Yeah, I mean, hey, like I said, man, I think I've heard your story. It's probably the story of most black people in this country. You know, a lot of people believe a man walked on water and turned fucking, you know, water and crackers to fish and wine. I mean, hey,
Are you fucking with people's God now? In the comments, I want to say Bibigo C8Z says, congratulations to Ashley Babbitt, the late Ashley Babbitt, on 5 years sober. I'm not aware that she had any substance abuse problems, but he says she's been sober for 5 years. Whatever happened to her?
That is a fact.
Yeah, well,
That is a fact. I mean, I can't. I'm not lactose intolerant. Even though as sensitive as that might be, he's telling the truth.
yeah. So President Trump also suggested he's done more for NATO than anybody else. NATO is forking over their amount of the budget. They increased their military spending. Yeah. Do you agree with Trump that he has at least been good for NATO and our defense?
I mean, for now it looks that way, but you know, one thing about a bully is that he can't. You know, I heard you say the other day how big he was, and maybe a little 5'10" guy. I don't think you saw my comment. I was like, yeah, one 5'6" guy can't beat Tim up, but you get 100 of them motherfuckers.
Yeah, that's
they whoop your big ass.
Yeah, that you wouldn't need 100, but yeah, that would be a problem.
Yeah, so I think that's where he's putting his in. So, you know, it's one of those things like, you know, most of my conversations always seem 360 because it comes back to the $20 a gallon thing. Yeah, they're paying more money, but where are they getting? They're not getting an ally from us for paying more money. They're getting a fucking tyrant that wants to tell them, hey, either you do this or give me a... Look at this shit, bro. He got a participation trophy with the fucking Nobel Peace Prize.
I don't get why he was so... Why is he so... Is it Obama? Why is he so gung-ho for a damn Nobel Peace Prize?
Man, he wants to be remembered. He wants a legacy that he wants to manufacture. You know, I think his legacy is going to be trash. That's why he tears down the buildings. That's why he puts his name on shit. So if nothing else, he can be like, well, my name will always be there.
Well, if the goal is to be remembered and have a legacy, he is beyond successful on that. He will go down in the history books. 100, 200 years from now, people will still be talking about President Trump. Now, what you stated may also be relevant, that his legacy may or may not be trash. He will have a legacy that will outlast the likes of Biden, Obama being the first black president. But in terms of what Obama did when he was president, Trump has done a hell of a lot more that will be talked about and discussed. A hell of a lot more. So I can't imagine anybody in our lifetime that will be remembered more than President Trump.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, I agree with you. I don't think after him we're going to hire another fucking convicted felon. I don't think after him we're going to let fucking people get away with saying I need loyalists around me. I mean, like I said, after him, I don't think we're going to be like, yeah, Qatar that was on the T list, yeah, we're just gonna take a plane from him and I'm gonna invite the guy in the fucking office and y'all cool with it. Like I said, there's no accountability. You know, I don't use the word cult lightly, but they come up here and they never say, you know, for months, you know, I'm tired of them saying you voted for this. You didn't vote for this because this ain't what the fuck he ran on. You know, you know, he didn't run on, I'm just gonna snatch up every fucking body that's brown and black. No, he specifically said, I'm going to get the bad hombres and the rapists and shit up out of here. Well,
maybe you know, some folks use the phrase dog whistle. Maybe he was speaking in the language they understood and you didn't.
No, I understood it. That's why I said I would have paid $20 a fucking gallon. But what I'm saying is, don't come up here and say, this is what you voted for, because it wasn't. Because I bet a lot of those Latinos, if they knew that you possibly on the block, you work hard every day, you pay your taxes, you did it the right way. If you knew that you were still on the block, nah, that's not what you voted for. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I gotta move it on, but I will add, you may end up getting your $20 a gallon even with Trump, because we have to see what the tariffs and all this other shit culminates to. But you may still get your hands on that $20 a gallon. There's no guarantee the economy is going to stay stable for any length of time. Go ahead. Last word to you.
Nah, well, the last word is this. Can we please stop letting them tell us that other countries pay the tariffs? Can we stop the bullshit for once and all? Back, I know y'all in the chat, we pay the fucking tariffs. I think it's everything but 4% of that fucking tariff we pay. So if he slapped 200% on fucking Macron and them in Italy, you're paying for it. Peace out, Till. Tap screen. Love the live, best live on.
Appreciate that. Thank you for that accolade, Further Great. Moving on with the program, by the way, tap the screen. Get your boy on up to 25 thou, Thou. We can certainly make that happen if you. Oh, shit, I just really did something fucked up with TikTok. Hang on a second. I hope I. There we go. I thought I almost threw my TikTok completely off. Anyhow, thank you for tapping the screen and sharing the live. For some of you folks that share the live, I absolutely do appreciate that, even though I don't often say do it. But share the live. It helps out the program. And I don't know what I just did here now to really screw up the video there. But in the comments before we go to the next caller, Big Shid 215 says America has always had balance. I'm fearful, I guess. I'm fearful of a day that a psycho Democrat is president and realize they can do anything. Well, what would you get if you had a psycho Democrat in office? Think about what the Democrat Party stands for. It would probably be real difficult to get whatever gun you wanted. It would probably be really. It would probably be a much better place for members of the LGBTQ community. Black and brown people would probably claim that they're a lot more freer. I'm just thinking what the Democrat Party stands for. The feminists would likely be happier. People who lean right would be pissed off completely. The secure the border folks would not be very happy at all. I'm assuming there would be no shortage of law enforcement that believed they were being overly scrutinized. There's a few things that come to mind. If you had, as this viewer says, a psycho Democrat president, just imagine a very, very far left America. You'd probably have the Mamdani, AOC, Bernie Sanders type mindset. That's what you would be. Looking at the comments, MAGA React says an open border. I'm not for certain of that. And I'll tell you why. When Obama got elected, we were told he was going to turn America into socialist Greece. At the time, the country of Greece was failing economically, one of the worst countries on earth in terms of economy. And they were saying that if Obama gets elected, America's going to turn into socialist Greece. And they painted this devastating picture. Obama got in there, the economy got well, and he certainly was not for open borders. And they suggested he was as far left as they come. So I don't buy that any Democrat that gets in office is going to be totally for open borders. Because Obama is someone you folks refer to as way far to the left, and now you're actually celebrating how strong he was on the border to the point where you're hoping Trump can make the same numbers as him. So there's that problem. Besides the Affordable Care Act, Obama wasn't that bad compared to these liberals now. You know, it's interesting you would say that, Juice Man, that besides the Affordable Care Act, Obama wasn't that bad of a president, because they say the same thing about Trump, that compared to Bush, he wasn't that bad compared to Trump. Now that they've had Trump, many folks on the left is like, shit, well, Bush wasn't that bad at all. Let me go back to the box before, make sure I didn't miss any super chats here. Sorry to Minnesota. Also, Trump ain't, what does it say here? Evil Finger says, sorry, typo. Minneapolis. Okay, fair enough. Sorry. Also, Trump ain't shit. My device happens to not be on for that. Since Trump ain't shit, Trump's speech at the White House was like watching Mr. Burns. Trump needs to say, is that you talking about Mr. Burns from The Simpsons? That was a 2-hour speech. I wasn't able to get it all because I was working. 2 hours he talked. Trump. Listen, for folks suggesting that Trump is going to croak, he's in mental decline, his health is not, 2-hour speech. When's the last time you seen Biden give a 2-hour speech? It was coherent. You may have not agreed with what Trump was saying, but you certainly heard him. You understood what he was talking about. 2 hours, taking a host of questions. When's the last time you seen President Biden do that? And real quick in regards to his comment that Trump ain't shit. Let me go back to the box and we'll continue on. 2 hours of babbling, says one viewer. Okay, fair enough. We'll make it happen with Charles Ward. Good evening. Welcome to the program. Well, Charles is not there apparently. We'll go to the next caller. We'll make it happen with Sherbert. Good evening, Sherbert. Welcome to the show. And by the way, folks, help your boy out with the TikTok hat and mustache go. Helps out, shows the program some love. Feel free to help it out. Sherbert, good evening.
How's it going, Tim?
That's going all right. President Trump, hottest country in the world. What say you?
Well, it's about to be when the war starts.
What war?
The war that's about to kick off here. Especially if he keeps fucking with Minnesota and Philly and everywhere else he's trying to.
You think Minnesota's going to go to battle with who, ICE?
Yeah, they're already about to, Tim. It's pretty clear from the videos. Especially when you got the Black Panthers and the militias all standing out there, with their own rifles. I
thought Tim Walz and Mayor Fry of Minneapolis said, don't fall for the bait. You really believe the citizens of Minneapolis are going to take up arms against ICE? You know Trump will send as many ICE as necessary to neutralize that crowd, right?
We're going to send in the Air Force, send in the Marines, going to send in everybody. It's about to be terrible here. But that's what's going to happen if you keep pushing.
You're in Minneapolis?
No.
Oh, I thought you said terrible here. Oh, you mean in the country?
No, in America.
Okay.
I'm in Texas.
Okay.
So I'm not too worried about things popping off here because they seem to leave us alone because Abbott's a little bitch.
Well, I would not be surprised once they get done with some of the liberal cities. They may go, liberal states, they may end up going and fucking with liberals in liberal cities in your state.
Yeah, but probably not door to door like they're doing out there.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think is the goal in Minnesota? What do you think Trump is trying to accomplish there?
It's cruelty, Tim. It's always been cruelty. And when you have Stephen Miller being the front man and the point man to how everything is going to go, nothing good is going to happen. You can't have a psychopath running the logistics and expect it not to go terribly well.
So you just think they're being, just for no reason at all, just pick an American city and be cruel to its inhabitants?
Yeah. Isn't that pretty clear by now? Everything they do is just for themselves and to screw over the liberals.
Well, I do know there's an anti-liberal sentiment and anti-liberal bias that's fueling a lot of their actions, but the cruelty, just be cruel to everybody.
Well, we're losing our standing in the world. We may still have the largest military, but that has nothing to do with our standing in the world. When Canada is about to buy, actually I don't know how many electric cars they're about to buy, but we're going to lose all our trades. We already don't manufacture very much here, and we're going to lose the opportunity to manufacture because we can't buy the materials.
But I'm going to ask you the same thing I asked my last caller. Trump is only going to be around for a few more years. Whether it is as president or father time catches up with him, all of this, Trump 2028 is just not logical. The guy, will be 90 by the time he's done, according to MAGA. But I'm asking, can we go back to normal after the Trump administration, or what was considered normal?
Not at all. There is no way. We've already burned all the bridges. And when we start World War III by invading Greenland with the NATO allies already there, there's just nothing good is here. It's going to take 10 years if everything ends today, at least. And even then, we'll still have a stand across our country.
What if it begins, let's say you get a Democrat in there after Trump, a Newsom, a Whitmer, a Bashir, whatever. You get a Democrat in there after Trump, and it's like the beginning phone call in the movie The Hangover. Look, we fucked up, and we apologize. As remember Obama, the alleged apology tour? What if you get a Democrat that does something like that? You still think it'll take 10 years?
It's far too late for that, Tim. No apology. It's going to take several administrations before anybody trusts us again.
And while we're talking, I do want to hang on. I'll let you continue. But while we're talking, I got News Nation playing in the background. The cable news outlet is, and the ticker says the United States has seized 6 Venezuelan oil tankers. So you're saying our reputation has been permanently tainted?
100%. Because when Trump is just tearing up what is it? When he's tearing up all the deals between other countries that have been set for a very long time, he's already proven that our word and our signature doesn't mean anything. If the next guy's going to come in, like every time we have a disaster from the Republicans, Democrats come in the next term, try and fix everything. It starts getting better, and then we get amnesia and just elect in somebody else like Trump again. And so it's going to take several administrations before they can trust that we've set things back up to where we're not going to allow a dictator to try and rule us.
How can we prevent, if for some reason, after Trump has left office or whatever the case may be, if America wanted to prevent, let's say you get an administration in their Senate, Congress, and they want to prevent another Trump from coming forward in the future, what could you really do to prevent that? I mean, the people elected Trump, half of the country, at least a third of the country, is incredibly satisfied with what he's done so far.
I really don't have an answer for that, because if somebody wants to vote against their own best interest, there's not much you can do about that. People are still going to smoke meth even though they know that their teeth are going to fall. I mean,
you're literally comparing voting for Trump to smoking meth?
Yeah, well, 100%.
Well,
I believe that MAGA is evil, Tim. I believe Trump is the Antichrist. Of course, I'm going to compare them to meth.
I need you to elaborate, because there's going to be MAGA viewers that are like, what the hell are you talking about? What makes you suggest that Trump supporters are quote unquote evil?
Because when that school was being attacked by ICE and they're just tackling teenagers and breaking people's ribs, and now I'm seeing today they're pulling old people out of their homes in Minnesota in the cold in just their underwear. And, that apartment complex that they
in Chicago
came in with the Black Hawk helicopters.
Yeah, in Chicago, in my hometown.
Is the point. And when you're that cruel, you're pretty evil.
What about the notion that it's just a deterrent to let folks know, if you're in this country illegal or thinking about coming to this country illegally to commit crimes, you need to think twice, because we have a commander-in-chief at the helm that ain't gonna tolerate it?
Then you're a racist, xenophobic piece of shit.
So
100%.
So trying to let folks know that this is not the place to enter illegally because we got a secure border makes you racist?
It's literally what our country is founded on, Tim. And when you can't handle, our culture is going to go away, they're taking our jobs. No, you're xenophobic. Fuck you.
But
you just don't want to lose your white neighborhoods.
Wow. But you would agree that having secure borders is a good thing for a nation, right?
Yeah, for the most part.
Do you believe the borders were
such a problem?
Do you believe the borders were?
Should have shut down immigration from half the world right now, Tim.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. But do you believe the borders were secure under Biden?
As far as they could be. And when we had an opportunity to fund it and get more people in there to actually guard our borders, the Republicans obviously didn't think it was a big deal because they shut it down multiple times.
So
wait. It wasn't a big deal then. It's not a big deal now.
So just to get clarity here, you believe that the border was under control under Biden as much as it could be. So you believe Biden was doing a good job securing the border?
As much as he could, without doing a radical change to our system and our laws, which they are not willing to do. It's been a year, and all we've got is the big ugly bill.
I don't know if I can agree with that. Kevin in the comments says Biden literally put up a sign saying, "Come on into America." So he's saying it was just the opposite.
I remember Kamala Harris, and I was a little disgusted when I heard this, was her at the Mexican border saying, do not come.
Yeah.
We cannot take you. Do not come.
Yeah.
So they can go fuck themselves. I'm not going to hear this shit anymore, Tim.
Well, excuse me. I think the argument from MAGA is that Biden may have been telling the public, or Kamala Harris, by way of Kamala Harris, they may have been telling the public one thing, but doing just the opposite. So they may have been saying, like saying don't come when they're relaxing the laws and allowing people to come in.
If you're just going to fearmonger and say, they were trying to let all these voters in, fuck you guys. It takes several years to become a naturalized citizen.
Yeah, but
they probably would have been out of office by then. This is just the dumbest xenophobic thing of, I don't want to lose power.
Now, you mentioned something to the notion of they don't want the country to become, anything but, less white, or I guess more brown, or more. Do you believe that race is behind this in terms of why the border is being secure under Trump?
Quite a bit.
Explain.
I mean, I would say, I don't know, 80% of it is racism, especially from his past and all the comments he makes. They're emptying the jails. They're emptying the insane asylums. There is zero proof of that. Shut up.
I wish I could argue with that. I wish Trump would produce the name of some insane asylums and prisons that were empty and the people came to America. I don't know why he said. I really wish that he would provide some evidence of that, because I'm not aware of that
If these
either.
Trump supporters want to believe every word, they're welcome to be stupid that way. When Biden would say some crazy shit, we'd usually ask for proof or not believe him. It's the same thing with the Epstein files. If someone I love is on those, I will denounce them. Trump has been proven, or at least had evidence to show a lot of different things, and they go, no, God King, yes, daddy.
Well, there are some folks who do wear Trump daddy shirts in daddy's home. There are some videos.
They also wore diapers and ear bandages over their ears. Like, it's a fucking cult, and I'm not going to pretend that it's not anymore.
Well,
MAGA React and Gen X, they can just go drink the Kool-Aid at this point.
Oh my God! Shout out to Trump, though. If you're saying that they're in the code, for a man to be able to get his people under control like that, that's something that Biden could never do. And Sentiment in the comments says, want me to ask you about Islam taking over countries. Do you? Because they passed a law, I believe, in Texas where you're at, to prevent Sharia law from becoming a law of the land. What say you?
That's the best thing about our country, is that we had rules saying that you can't have any kind of laws or systems that benefit any particular religion. That's why I'm so mad at these Christians saying that they can do whatever the fuck they want, when it was very clear, it was founded as a Christian nation. No, it wasn't. We had Christian values, and that's totally fine. But you don't get to push your shit and then say, Sharia law's coming. No, we don't allow that from anybody. Not the Jewish people, not the Muslims, not the Christians, not the fucking Quakers. We don't let any of them do that.
Well, you know how religion is. Everybody,
and I will fight all of them, not just the Christians.
Well, and by the way, Ginger Wilkins, appreciate that, Barrett. Thank you for supporting the program. You do know, when it comes to religion, everybody thinks their religion is the only one and true religion. Everybody is for everything working for their religion and being against other religions. I think that's not just in the Muslim communities. That is apparent here in America as well, that everybody thinks their religion is the one true religion.
I also just don't have a problem with immigration. I don't have problems with other cultures being here. Just because I may not, it's the same thing with trans people. I don't personally understand it perfectly. That's fine. They can have their areas, they can have their groups, they can have their churches. You can do whatever you want. That's why it's the land of the free.
But what about the notion
I'll still
that
have my house, I'll still have my area, I'll still have my friends, and it'll be fine. And if you don't like that, and you want it to be just your people and just your religion and just your friends, well, then you're a piece of shit. That's not what America is.
Yeah, but what about the notion, as many on the right believe, that exposing children to facets of the LGBTQ community, you place that child in psychological harm's way?
Tim, when did you choose to be straight?
Born that way.
Yeah. It's the same thing with LGBT people. And so I don't care how much you're exposed to it. It's not going to make you do something.
Well, but the belief is indeed that exposing children to, transgenderism or LGBTQ issues makes it possible that they may experiment with it a little bit, or perhaps do something. What? Well, you say, so what? If someone starts experimenting with, gender transformation medicine and all this shit, some of that stuff may be permanent.
Yeah, I remember, what was it, just about a year ago, they were saying, your son goes into school and they come home a girl. It just doesn't work that way. So you can fear, all these people can fearmonger all they want about, no, they're going to change our kids, they're going to do all these things. You can't do a surgery like that. They won't do it without a lot of consultations and making sure that this is what you want. So Stop fear mongering, all you idiot pussy bitches.
Oh, you're not. Surely you're not talking about MAGA that harsh. Come on now.
100%, Tim. They're evil. For specifically this, if you're concerned about LGBTQ stuff, you might be concerned that it dictates pretty good.
I don't even know what Mitch is saying. You don't think all MAGA's evil. Let me just clear that up. You don't believe all of MAGA.
At this point, absolutely.
All of them?
Yeah.
What about voting to secure the border, to get a better economy, to project respect and energy and strength worldwide? Is there any legitimate reasons to support President Trump that has nothing to do with being evil?
No, not at this point. Now, back in 2016, 2018, not at all. I wouldn't say they're evil. I think they might be misinformed. They just weren't paying attention, maybe. But it's been like 10 years of this, man. If you don't understand that this guy is not a good person, you're a bad person. And then, okay, so what is the opposite side of that? Where have you ever seen anything on the Democratic side where it's just proven over and over and over that there is no empathy, no compassion, no wanting to help people at all? And I'm not saying we have to give them away everything and ruin our country because we're in debt to 1,000 different ways. But just even giving his kids school lunch is now 10 steps too far.
Well, and that is a Charlie that's a Charlie Kirk sentiment. He said children shouldn't get, but a lot of folks believe that when you say do the Democrats lack empathy, everything that is free to you comes from somewhere else. So they believe the Democrats have no empathy for big business because they're trying to make them pay for every damn thing.
Because they're doing so poorly right now, as Jeff Bezos makes another like $5 million an hour or something like that.
I mean, he makes a few bucks. Jeff Bezos makes a good buck. He makes a good buck. So
I mean, I just remember hearing a stat a couple days ago of back in like the 50s, the top wealth went to 8% of them, and then 40% went to the middle class, and then I forget the bottom stat, but now it's 40% go to the upper class, and then there is no middle class because everything else gets divided between everyone else, the other 99% of Americans.
Well,
so
Trump,
they're doing just fine with 40% of the annual wealth being going to these big corporations. I don't have any more sympathy. They can pay a little more, and the Walmart people, the Waltons, they can pay a little more. That's fine. They're already getting subsidies of having their employees on food stamps while then getting benefits or tax breaks from the government. So they're double dipping in multiple different ways. I just don't have any more sympathy. If you don't want kids to have free school lunch, you obviously don't care about people. I'm not pro-birth. I'm pro-life on the sense that we should help.
Yeah, but they're going to push back and say the liberals are in favor of allowing a woman to terminate a pregnancy in the 9th month, or as President Trump said, the liberals would actually let a woman give birth, take the baby home, come back to the hospital, and terminate that child.
Remember what I said about fear mongering?
Yes,
Tim?
I remember that.
Yeah, that's 100% fear mongering. We had Roe versus Wade that had it up to second trimester or something along those lines, which I feel is completely moral. That if the parent is not able to be a good parent, don't put a child into a shitty situation.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. If a woman tells you she's not ready to be a mother, I don't think it's a good idea to force her either. Sure, but I gotta move it on though. But this is our president. 3 more years. We'll see what happens. Maybe things will turn around. Is there anything Trump could do at all to win you over?
I don't want to get banned off TikTok for saying what I was thinking.
By saying yes?
We're not going to have an America here. We're probably not even going to get to midterms at this point and have elections. Every day I come to more and more of the conclusion, we're not going to have midterms. God King is going to say, no, I'm already winning. Everyone loves me. Just no elections.
You really think this guy is going down the dictator road that much?
Every day gets a little more and a little more.
I hope you're wrong. I got to go, Sherbert. Appreciate it. I hope you're wrong, though. Thank you. And by the way, tap the screen. Help your boy out. No love today. TikTok cap. Throw your boy a little bit of love. TikTok cap, TikTok mustache. No love today on the program at all. What the hell is the content that fucked up? Tap the screen, by the way. Get us on up to 40,000. A lot of lazy thumbs in here as well. We'll take the next caller at 40,000. Like Trump threw the baby in the lake. The new, oh my God. And thank you, C. Osby. Appreciate that. And I just seen that for a minute there. I got to throw on my spectacles. A few of you guys are supporting the program there. DJ D's and Rogadio. Appreciate that. Thank you. Real quick in the comments, Sherbert is correct, says blessed by the best. MAGA men, black MAGA men for King Trump, says the game prophet. There's still a lot of very happy black MAGA out there. In fact, I haven't seen any disgruntled black MAGA. When I see folks suggesting that they're no longer happy or they're rethinking their vote for Trump, it's rarely somebody that's black, with the exception of the Somalis, because he called them garbage. That I mean, if you supported Trump and you made national attention, people are gonna come looking for you when he's called your people garbage. So the Somalis, yes. Shadow says you're one of them. I am. Wow, I'm learning something new every day. DJ D's with the TikTok cap. In the comments, Handsome Evil Finger says, Tim, Sherbert is right. The far right and MAGA are evil, twisted, sick, demented people, completely evil, pure evil. They need to turn some. Wow, that's strong language, evil Finger. That's really strong language. All of them are evil. And the game prophet says, I'm doubling down, black MAGA. Black MAGA is very happy with Trump. I would love to have black MAGA come on the show and certainly question the gains that they've seen for the black community or for themselves personally under Trump. Rod, appreciate the TikTok cap. We'll take the next caller at 40,000. Let your thumbs not be lazy. Tap the screen, get the lights on up. By the way, if you're currently watching us live on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, follow the program. We're here most weekdays. If you're watching us on YouTube, give your boy a sub. As I said, we're here most weekdays. This is indeed uncensored programming. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. Doesn't matter what your politics are. You can be critical of anybody on this program, including yours truly. We have never had a moderator. We always have been MAGA friendly. We always shall remain MAGA friendly. And what do we say? Our comments go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with Q. Uncensored programming. MAGA has peaked. The pendulum is swinging. I don't know if I feel confident in suggesting that MAGA is peaked. Let Trump give us a better economy. Perhaps that stimulus money that he's been flirting and throwing in there's still things he could do. There are still things that Trump could do to get stronger. I don't know if I would say he has peaked. I get that there are some disgruntled Americans, but I don't know if I'm 100% sure that MAGA has peaked. Are we at 40,000? We'll go to the next caller. And thank you folks that have been supporting the program. Real quick, I would support the live, put it sound like a preacher. And you told me I showed, huh? Obila, I don't know what you're saying there other than you're not supporting it. There aren't that many of them, so who cares? Now, there's not a lot of black MAGA, but I mean, there are places where they could hurt things. I mean, every vote matters in some cases. Let me go back to the box. We'll go to Chris Patton. Good evening. Welcome to the program. I love the poorly educated. That is a quote from President Trump. Cash out Cody. If you're on TikTok or Instagram, same name, the Handsome Liberal across all platforms. Our callers come from Instagram and TikTok. So go on one of those platforms under the Handsome Liberal will bring you up. You can certainly call in and get your point across. Born in South Central Los Angeles, black MAGA man. Can't be many of you out there. Let me go back to the box. We're having a hard time bringing people up. What the hell's going on with Marlon Kirk? We'll see if that brings up a person. Real quick. Why didn't Trump deport people before the election? He wasn't president. How could he deport someone? He didn't have any power. That was Biden's job. I don't know where you're going with that. You believe the family in the van getting gassed by ICE was justified? No. Listen, ICE has presidential immunity, which is why I asked the question. One of our topics was, because Trump claims there's paid agitators operating in Minnesota. And I asked the question at the beginning of the live during the monologue is, how much would you need to be paid to be a paid agitator on an issue that you didn't give a damn about the issue? You just doing it for the money. How much would you have to be paid as a paid agitator to go up against ICE that currently has presidential immunity, according to JD Vance? Who the hell would do that? How much would the paycheck have to be? Knowing they could stop you, detain you for any reason, rough you up, bust out your car window, all of that, for an issue that you didn't give a damn about, Luis Miguel, because you're saying you do it for free. You do it for free because you are concerned with what's going on. What if it was an issue you didn't give a damn about? How much would you need to be paid to go up against a federal organization that has presidential immunity? They can do fucking anything to you, damn near. How much would that paycheck have to be? They only pay agitation is in their uniform. Yeah, and that's my point. I'll go to the next caller. I have a hard time believing anybody's being paid. I have a hard time believing that those folks are being paid. They're doing that out of passion and concern. I don't believe they're being paid. We'll try it with Piano Guy in New York. Let's see how liberal and communist ideology works out for the people of New York. I don't know how Mamdani's going to work out primetime fish. Hang on a second. Hang on there, Piano Guy. I don't know how well Mamdani's going to work out. Hang on one second. You got a loud background. I don't know how well Mamdani's going to work out, but I'll tell you this. They said the same thing when Obama got elected. They're not saying anything about Mamdani that they didn't say about when Obama. He was a socialist and he was going to destroy the country, spread the wealth around. Remember Joe the Plumber said the same shit about President Obama. And that didn't turn out anywhere near as bad as they indicated. Piano, that says Piano Guy?
Yes, sir.
Good evening. So what brings you to the program? Go ahead.
Well, I'm proud to have played piano at Mamdani's inauguration. So he's a good guy. Those are very organized people.
You played piano at Mamdani's inauguration?
That's right.
Wow.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, they're good people. There's a lot of competent people running that organization, that group. I was very impressed with how they were organized, how the whole morning, the afternoon was run. They had some of the best coffee and treats for all the volunteers backstage that I've ever had. Chai tea, fresh made chai tea. It was very classy done. And anyway,
but you're giving them credit for running a good campaign. That has nothing to do with what kind of politics. I mean, Trump ran a good campaign. You may not like him as a politician, but he ran a good campaign. Do you think Mamdani will be an effective politician for New York?
I don't think it matters, because even if he is, a lot of people aren't going to get that information. They're going to be told whatever the billionaires want them to be told.
Well, but when you think about what he is campaigning on, cheaper rent and daycare. I mean, you can say whatever.
Daycare is a big one, and if he's able to do that effectively, we're going to see a lot of babies born in New York, because a lot of New Yorkers are going to want to have kids there. And that's good for New York.
And that's the point I'm making, is it doesn't matter what the propaganda is. If people can feel if they're doing better or worse, like Biden was saying that the economy was doing well under him, like Trump is now. as someone who works every day what your bank account and shit. Doesn't matter what the propaganda says. You know if the economy, when you go grocery shopping, is good or not. So if Mamdani is doing what he is saying, what he's campaigned on doing, you can throw propaganda out there at him all you want. People know if he's good or not.
Yeah, I mean, like, being the mayor of New York is kind of a thankless job because no one generally leaves that office popular. It's an office that will tear. It's such a crap show. Dealing with the things you deal with. But
I gotta disagree with you. I gotta disagree with you. One mayor left that office doing really good. Rudolph Giuliani was able to propel and try to make a presidential run. He left as America's mayor. Rudolph Giuliani left in really good standing.
Because of 9/11.
But right, there was a reason. But I'm saying he did leave.
And he also he was around during the .com when we had enormous money. And I mean, you were there around the 90s. You know what happened in the late 90s in New York and in the country. It was a golden age by all estimations. In fact, Clinton left the government with a surplus.
Well, some folks even suggest that his stop and frisk lowered crime in that city.
I don't necessarily disagree. I voted for Giuliani. I voted for Republicans. I voted for Bloomberg. I thought Bloomberg did a great job. Generally, our Democratic mayors don't do great. I tend to prefer Republican for local officiating, and then I tend to prefer Democrats for the big ones like the president because they tend to be better at the more social issues. But I think that Mamdani is definitely better than Eric Adams because that mofo was corrupt. Corrupt. 2 words, corrupt. And he was there. He was sitting in the second row. And again, good for him for showing up. But like that guy, Trump took the heat off him, right? People don't talk about that. That was one of the first things he did.
Yeah, that is true.
And it was,
I'm going to say this, and I know I'm going to say this, and hang on a second. I'm going to say this, and I know MAGA may not agree with this, but Trump works well with corrupt guys. I don't know what it is, but offering pardons and shit, Trump works well with people that were previously viewed as corrupt.
I think it's important that MAGA understands that, and I don't speak for liberals at all. I speak for myself, but I think that there's corruption across the board. I say, Venezuela's corrupt, but it's behind closed doors. America's corrupt, but it's right out in front of our eyes, right? Trump is doing in a big way, in a Trump way, what every president has done, what every politician has done, right? There's always going to be corruption. There's always going to be backdoor dealing. I don't even have a problem with that. My problem with Trump particularly is that he does have authoritarian complexes, and no one can deny that at this point,
Plenty of people are denying it at this point.
But how do you deny it, though? I mean, when you go after one of our allies, that's the definition of authoritarian.
Yeah, but they believe that what he is doing is necessary for the security of America. But they believe what he is saying, that we need Greenland because...
Right, but we have control of... We can put the missile system there. We can send 100,000 troops to Greenland, and they're like, fine, do that. So it's not about that. It's about, just like Hugh said that Venezuela was about the drugs, the D's,
drugs,
right?
Yeah.
And by the way, they stopped talking about that, haven't they?
I ain't heard nothing about fentanyl or drug boats since. No, you're right. I heard.
And F did not come from Venezuela. It came through other channels. The Venezuelans were sending us the C stuff, the nose powder, right?
Yeah.
Which a lot of those guys use, by the way. A lot of the politicians and all that. That's how they work late.
Like Hunter Biden.
Sure. I mean, but listen, Hunter Biden is exactly what I'm talking about that Jared Kushner is doing, but Jared Kushner is doing it in a much bigger way, and Don Jr. is doing it in a much bigger way. So we can't look and point at that. But my issue is that I travel. I'm a musician. I travel all over the world, and I talk to the value of America is our reputation in the world. That's why we are strong, and that's why.
Do you believe that Trump is strengthening or harming our reputation in any way, or just not affecting it at all?
That's not a serious question, is it?
I have my answer for it, but I want to hear yours, so I have to ask.
Yeah. It is definitely hurting our reputation, And I think the next president comes in is going to have to do like a mea culpa peace treaty, sorry, like apologies for all the stuff that went on the last 4 years. That's not really how Americans are, blah, blah, blah. I think we're going to see a route in the midterms. It is interesting to see what he does with Greenland, because I think Greenland is the first time that I'm seeing MAGA start to wake up a little bit and go, this is maybe not normal.
Well, shit, they said they woke up about the Epstein files and went back to sleep. So I don't know. I think I get a lot of MAGA that believes that we do need to take Greenland. Now, I heard your reasons. You could do quite a bit already under the treaty we have in place. Why do you need to own it? Well, President Trump is saying that you don't do the same stuff to defend the country when you're doing it as a treaty. He says you do it much better when you own it, and that's why he says we need to own it.
No sense. There's no logic to that.
Well, it's kind of like renting. It's kind of like renting versus owning. When you rent an apartment or rent a car, you don't treat it as good as you do when you own it.
Yeah, but the problem is,
I think my call. You may have a call or something. You going in and out. All right, I'm gonna have to move it on because my call is going in and out. I think sometimes when folks come on live, that's right when they get a phone call or something. And fortunately, or at least I take great compliments. Some folks will disconnect that caller to keep the conversation going, but that person, if they really want to talk, they keep calling back. And that's what I believe was happening. He was constantly getting interrupted. Looking in the comments, to be a Democrat supporter, Tim, you always find negative stuff to say about Democrats. I find negative stuff to say about politicians and politics in general, because MAGA feels I do the same shit towards Trump and Republicans. You know how many viewers say I have TDS every show? Every show, I'm accused of having both TDS and being a sellout to my own people, a coon, and Uncle Tom and Uncle Ruckus. I get it from both sides. I get it from both. Being in the middle, trying to have a program where everybody can speak freely without being censored, I pay a little bit of a price for that. That's why I tell you guys to support the damn program with a few TikTok caps and hats and mustaches. I take a beating for your damn entertainment, goddammit. Tap the screen, get the likes on up to 60,000. We can make that happen. Looking in the comments, real quick here. Tim's a great streamer. I like that, James. I'll take that. Appreciate that. Hands the Conservative says you're going to pay a big price when Gangsta Grandma comes on. I had a dream Gangsta Grandma was nice to me, and then my alarm clock went off. Real quick, make sure I didn't miss anybody. Any super chats. The man said he was a socialist. I did not say anything about Obama. Obama actually did a lot of great things. Well, the country viewed Obama as a socialist. And Obama, unlike Bernie Sanders or Mom Donnie, never claimed to be a socialist. That was just something the right affixed on him. Obama never claimed to be a socialist. And when he governed, he didn't govern like a socialist. Whether you're on the left or the right, those pulling the strings want you where you are. Well, Mr. Wise Guy, 77 in the comments, I have to ask the question, what happened to draining the swamp? Why all of a sudden, once Trump is in there and people are accusing him of being corrupt or not doing this or not doing that, yeah, appreciate the hat and mustache there, KG, thank you. And James Harper, appreciate the license. But here's what I would say. Trump promised to drain the swamp. Well, all of a sudden, every time he's accused of something, we got to compare him to what used to be called a swamp creature. Well, Obama did that too. Biden did that. Hunter Biden this. I thought he was going to drain the swamp. He's going to be different. Not get in there and do the same shit, requiring that you bring up another swamp creature to try to save his ass. He was supposed to be the guy to not do the stuff. What happened to that? Got in there and started seeing the money he could make and just said, fuck it, huh? If you don't think he's not destroying our reputation across the world, you are foolish and oblivious. Well, according to Trump, we currently have the hottest country in the world. How does that happen if our reputation is being destroyed? I mean, according to Trump, it's the hottest country in the world. So I would certainly need some explanation on that. Tap the screen, get the likes up to 60,000. We'll take the next call.
Our country was cold as ice a year ago, and now we have the hottest country in the world. This is the hottest country in the world. Nobody even close. If you look at even this last trip that I made, the respect that is paid to our country. We went from being laughed at all over the world, and now we're the hottest country in the world by far.
That's a strong statement. Hottest country in the world. William, appreciate the hat and mustache. Yeah, thank you. Who are the Republicans who ran on lowering the age of consent from 18 to 14 for sex and for labor? God damn. Really? I don't remember anybody running on that yet. 23 states in America lowered the age of consent from 18 to 14. 14? Who the fuck would find anything attractive about a 14-year-old that ain't 15 themselves? 14. You need to have your ass beat for even submitting that on the House floor. Period. William says that's not true. I haven't heard of that. That's really bad. 14. We sounds like he's talking to Epstein when he says our country is the hottest. I don't know. When I see in the comments, RR6 said that is lies. I haven't heard any Republicans talking about making 14 the age of consent. There is no reason for ICE to have a $75 billion budget. That's not true. If you believe that there are 18 million undocumented illegal aliens in the country that have not been vetted, that came from insane asylums and prisons, and they're here to rape and murder everybody, all quotes coming from President Trump, spending $75 billion to get them out of the country is not that big of a task to get people to support. According to President Trump, the 18 million that allegedly came here under President Biden are zombies and monsters looking to do us all harm. So it would not be hard to get a lot of folks to get behind flooding ICE with a huge budget to get these people out. Zombie apocalypse coming from the southern border. Let me go back to the box. When you inject religion in the government, evil laws are made. Depends on your definition of evil, but I can certainly see where you're going with that. We'll continue on with, I don't know, somebody just disappeared. I was trying to click on someone there. We'll go to MAGA Reacts. Good evening. Hottest country in the world, MAGA. What say you?
Yeah, I think we are. We're always number one, though. We're always number one.
So, but according to Trump, we were dead under Biden. And now we're the hottest country in the world. What does he mean by that?
Yeah, we were dead. Everything was slow. Nobody was working. Everything was all government money. All the money that people were making was all, freaking from those spending bills. Even though they didn't achieve shit except,
So you're saying under Biden, things were slow. What has sped up under Trump that was slow under Biden?
Everything.
You got to give me a better answer than everything.
Hasn't, really trickled down yet. I think our economy in general has just gotten a lot faster. But
give me?
You haven't felt it yet.
Give me the definition of what does a fast economy. Give me the definition of how, or better yet, the explanation of as a working guy like myself or like yourself. What is the difference between a slow economy and a fast economy? How does that affect your life?
I'm busier at work, and then I've been subleasing some of my shit, and I'm getting a lot more calls for it now than I was a year ago or 2 years ago.
So you're getting more. You're getting more
People
business.
are looking to invest in commercial real estate, and just everything's hot.
So you're getting more business. And Gangsta Grandma is saying that's the reason I fluff. She's suggesting I'm not pushing back on you. I'm asking them questions, Gangsta.
There's nothing to put back on. Gas prices are going down. Groceries, they haven't gone down, but they haven't gone up either. And I know here in Florida they've gone down a little. I don't know how it is in California.
So you use slow in terms of Biden. You use fast in terms of Trump. So you're suggesting the economy has gotten significantly better under Trump compared to
Well,
Biden.
that's how we got inflation. He put a bunch of money in the economy, but it was slow. So a bunch of people had money, but nothing to spend it on. And that's how you get 9% inflation under Biden.
And so, the question I'm asking though, you're saying that under Trump, the economy has gotten significantly better than it was under Biden a year ago.
Yeah, definitely. It just hasn't fully recovered, and it hasn't gotten hot yet. Like, it's hot, but it hasn't gotten to what it can be with all those with all the work he's been putting in.
What metrics are you going by other than gas prices, which I will confirm I've seen go down as well? The rest of that shit, I'm not seeing that. I don't know where you're getting this from.
You can see it. I don't know if you watch it, but he's always having like business leaders in the White House every fucking day. He's helping facilitate all their projects. He's helping Intel get their chips and trade, trading at. He helped Intel with China. He's making sure, the whole reason he's fighting for Greenland is so we don't get cut off from rare earth metals. If China says, oh, we're not going to sell you any rare earth metals anymore, okay, we'll just get them from Greenland.
Well, I will say this. I will say that. Hold on. I will say this. Having people in the White House and having, these, you see these press conferences where this company is promised to bring jobs back to America and it's going to create this amount of jobs, or this person's going to invest. All of that stuff is just promises, Mac. During this first term, Trump made similar, and that stuff didn't culminate into anything. So a lot of Trump's credit, I believe, listening to what you're saying, you're giving him credit for stuff that he's promising.
But a lot of it did. Like, for example, the example I like to use a lot, like, he's open. He's a lot easier to get a hold of, and he'll help you a lot more than, like, Biden was, like, impossible to get a hold of. Like, you needed help from the White House, good luck. With Trump, you call him, he'll answer the phone, he'll put you with someone, and he'll get shit done. And
then why are the jobs numbers so bad if he's getting? He's through a quarter of his term is gone. Why are the job numbers this bad?
Like I said, job numbers are not good representation of things because the economy is changing, and people are going from old jobs to newer jobs. And a lot of those job numbers were government jobs, which he did cut down on because it was just money being wasted. Like, it kind of sucks that the unemployment number went up.
How do we actually know, MAGA, how do we actually know that? When he says those jobs that they fired people on in terms of federal jobs were waste, what is that actually based on?
They keep track of that stuff.
Huh?
They do keep track of it. I just don't have the numbers in front of me.
Well, when Elon was firing all them folks by way of Doge, they kept track of how much money that was allegedly saving us. And it turned out a lot of those numbers were made up, false. They were talking about they were saving trillions of dollars in this industry, and it turns out a lot of that stuff is false. So when they say they keep track of it,
we don't know that, and also
yeah, we do. Yeah, no, they were able to prove.
Paying someone to do a job that is not needed.
No, they were able to prove. They were able to prove that a lot of numbers that Elon Musk were giving were not true. They had a government website telling you how much money was being saved, and they were able to prove it wasn't true.
No, they weren't able to prove shit because it's all predictions. Like, how did he fired these people, and they're a week later are like, oh, he didn't do shit because, it's all predictions. We won't even know until like a year from now how much we saved because, you know what, you have to actually save the money. It's all bullshit because it's all predictions. They predicted he didn't save any money, but we're not.
What happened if Doge is doing such a good job saving us so much money? Why the hell did they get rid of it?
Because politically, it fucking cost a lot. Especially to Elon himself, his fucking company was suffering, and politically.
Politically, you think Trump? You think Trump cares what's unpopular politically? Most of the shit he's doing is politically costing a lot. You think ICE is not hurting him? What they're doing all over the country?
Well, at least with that stuff, there's benefits to it. With Doge, saving money, it's gonna hurt him more because he's firing more people. So
what?
All it's gonna do is increase the unemployment.
So if Doge is saving us,
It's like what you say all the time. Like, how are you going to feel the savings? Even if he takes $1 trillion off spending, how are you going to feel it? You're not going to feel it. So some idiot will come by and tell you, "Oh, he didn't save shit. What they saved was pennies," and then you'll believe him because you didn't feel it.
well, the same idiot could come by and say that ICE didn't do shit because I'm not feeling any negative. I wasn't feeling any negative effects from illegal aliens under Biden either. So Trump claims that tons of money was being wasted under Biden, and a lot of dangerous illegal immigrants were in the country under Biden. I wasn't feeling the effects of either one of those things.
Yeah, well, I don't know what to tell you. That's still more important. That's still felt by a lot of people. Maybe you weren't feeling it, but a lot of people, other people were.
I would sure like to know who all these people are.
None of us are going to feel it because it's like, paying off. It's like when you pay off a credit card. You're paying it off, but you're really not going to feel it. But, spending you're going to feel because you're going to, by getting you shit. But paying off your credit card just sucks because you're not going to feel it. But, getting rid of illegals, that's everybody. If you don't feel it, other people are going to feel it. Especially people at the border.
I don't. In fact, some of the people are already saying they feel it in terms of that certain jobs and industries need the people back. They're feeling it, but it's negative.
All right, so let's let them in legally. If they need them back, they could call Trump up and he'll help them get in legally because that's what he's good at.
It's actually kind of late, MAGA, because Trump done already banned half of the planet from coming here. All of the third world countries are banned.
All that could change, though. All that could change tomorrow. He could let in whoever he wants the next day. Like, you guys make fun of him for being taco or whatever, but I think that's one of his best features. That when he does something, it's not permanent, and if there's a reason to change it, he'll change it.
Well, I don't think I don't believe it's the issue is that what he does is not permanent. I think the issue is he's not predictable. He don't always follow through on what he promises. He may say he's going to do this tomorrow and go in a totally different direction. You don't know what you're getting.
What it is he's trying new shit. We always say is like everybody we elect is doing the same old shit. He's doing new stuff. And he's trying it out, and he's seeing what works and what doesn't, and he tweaks it, and he's working.
But
that's how you fucking try out.
No. You run a campaign. You run a campaign on what you're going to do. You don't run a campaign on I'm going to get in there and experiment. What you're saying is he's getting in there and just trying new shit. He made promises. People were expecting that shit, not an experimentation.
And he's working in the general direction he promised. I mean, you can't predict the future. You can't write down everything you're going to do in 4 years. Do you know what you're going to do next year? And if you're a little bit off, you're lying. Like that's the standard you guys have put in. It's like he didn't predict his next 4 years 100% like he was gonna. You want 100% prediction, and you want him to stick to the fucking script and not move 1 inch. That's not Trump.
So you favor.
Not gonna keep doing it.
So do you favor tariffing every country on the planet? You think that was a good idea?
I favor tariffs, and it's yes, but it doesn't. You're misrepresenting it.
Tell me how.
Constantly is tweaking the tariffs.
Okay, so when he
a certain product that he wants to not tariff, he doesn't tariff it.
Okay, you said tweaking it. You said tweaking the tariff. So when he tells a country like Brazil, if you're going to prosecute your ex-prime minister for staging a coup, if you're going to prosecute that guy, we're going to increase your tariffs. Or he tells the European theater, if you're not behind me for taking over Greenland, I'm going to impose more tariffs on you. You support using tariffs as a weapon?
Yes, that's been a yes since day one.
No, it has not. When do we use tariffs as a weapon?
These people sign peace treaties and do things that are beneficial to the United States, and I'm going to use the tariffs to do it. He said that in his campaign. If you didn't listen, that's your issue.
Do you believe him using tariffs as a weapon is going to work?
It's not really a weapon. It's like a carrot and stick situation.
No, if you tell, hold on. He told Brazil that if they were going to prosecute this guy, their former leader for trying to stay in power and stage a coup, if they were going to prosecute him, he was going to increase the tariffs. They prosecuted him. So his threat did not work. So how do you view that?
I mean, just because it didn't work here, it doesn't mean it's going to always fail. What is your point there?
Do you think it's going to work?
Try because it's not going to work.
Okay, no, you told me using them as a weapon is a good thing because it is a way to get what you want. You think Europe is going to take his tariff threats and then suddenly start backing him with his acquisition of Greenland plan?
I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do, but it's one of his best tools, and he uses it. I want to say uses it like he uses it well. He doesn't use it like perfect, but he does pretty good with it.
Give me some examples of him using tariffs as a weapon where it actually was a success.
I mean, there's a bunch of examples.
Give me one. I don't want all of them. Give me one.
I remember like Colombia or some country didn't want to take their illegals back, and he threatened to tariff them, and they ended up taking them back. I mean, I can't give you more off the top of my head, but that's the one that comes to my head right now.
Yeah, I'm not aware of him using.
Another thing I want to jump to before, I don't want to stick to this stuff all day. The shit with ICE, like, it's been the same story for years. I made you a playlist of videos, all the same shit. ICE in Minnesota, ICE being protested, all the same shit. Under Obama, under Trump's last run, I mean, none of this shit.
You're telling me under Obama, ICE could just randomly stop anybody and demand paperwork?
Yes.
You got videos from that? Do you have any video footage or anything? You have any links or anything from that time period?
I sent you 20 videos off YouTube. All you gotta do is go to YouTube and tell it, ICE, like just put in ICE, whatever, ICE protest or whatever before 2016.
I'm not talking about a protest. I'm not talking about a protest. I'm talking about an actual encounter where somebody's being stopped and they had done nothing wrong, just sitting in their car, sitting on the porch, or they're knocking on their door and demanding they prove they're citizens. You're saying that was happening under Obama.
See, now you're moving the goalposts. And that shit, no, it's the same shit where they went around the Home Depots and went around and they just, caught illegals. That's what their job is.
What about stopping American citizens? Was that happening?
I mean, they're not perfect, so...
That ain't what I asked you. I didn't ask you were they perfect. Was that happening?
Yes, it was. It just never made the news because it wasn't... Who cares? They stopped an American citizen and they let him go.
So you're telling me that under Obama, we had a federal organization in this country wrongfully stopping Americans and nobody on the right decided to cover it. It was just, who cares?
Yeah, because it wasn't a big thing. You accidentally stop an American. Okay, it's like pulling over someone, accidentally catching someone and he ends up being innocent.
They complained about Obama wearing a tan suit, but he could stop Americans and demand paperwork, and they decided, who cares, we're not going to cover that. You believe that?
It never made the news.
Because it didn't happen. It didn't make the news because it didn't happen.
No, it happened. They used to the same shit at the airport where you'd always had the immigration, No, this shit has been happening for years. I mean, I sent you 20 videos. You can watch all of them and see. It's the same story, just being hyped, like inflated because, it's Trump.
Right, and Fox News just decided to let Obama get away with doing that and not cover it. All of the shit, Solyndra, what was the Too Fast and Furious? They decided not to cover that, huh?
Yeah, because it really isn't a big thing. You're trying to get rid of illegals. You pull some guy over, he ends up being American. It's like, okay, have a nice day.
So you're saying that
a couple of weeks to figure out who they are. It's been happening forever.
So let me make sure I get clarity in this. You're saying that stopping using law enforcement with long rifles and shit to stop Americans and demand paperwork, detain them until they prove they're an American. That's really no big deal, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I had them come in with long rifles for some fucking paperwork shit.
Do you believe in
my
freedom?
Office, like back in 2009.
Do you believe
they came in like 10 of them to check my fucking billing, and they all had fucking ARs and shit.
Do you believe in freedom?
Yeah, this isn't like we're still free. I don't know. Are you?
You're not. If they're demanding, hold on. Wait a minute, MAGA. You're sounding crazy. If they stop you and demand you prove you're a citizen, if you cannot give them paperwork at the time, you are not free. They're holding you until they find out. What do you mean? You believe in freedom, yes or no?
Yeah, I believe in freedom, and if I always carry an ID. I've been doing that for the last 20 years. You can't walk around without an ID, and if I get pulled over, I show them ID, and that's it. Like, it's not really a big deal. It's usually taken care of really quick because they should have a good database of everybody who's a citizen. But some people have fucked up paperwork, and some people.
What if you don't have an ID on you at all? What if you don't have an ID on you at all? What happens?
Well, then you have to deal with the consequences. It's like being here illegally. You have to deal with the consequences. Okay?
So if an American citizen does not have an ID, even though they're doing absolutely nothing wrong, if an American citizen happens to be outside and they don't have ID, your phrase is they just have to deal with the consequences.
Yeah, and that goes for regular cops too. I mean, there's a lot of police videos of just them dealing with exactly that. They run into a regular American and he doesn't have an ID, and they sit there and make sure, he's not wanted and checking for warrants.
And
That's
somehow
police procedures since I was like 17, from the first time I got pulled over by a cop till today. Like,
and somehow, some way, you view this as being free.
This is for security.
I didn't ask you that. I said freedom. We're talking about freedom. We're talking about freedom. We're not talking about security. You believe that this is freedom.
Yes, because I could do everything I want. I could go jet skiing. I could work and make money. I could be online talking to you. I'm not getting censored like I was under Biden. There's a lot less censorship, except for TikTok. TikTok seems to be the exemption. But it's not because of Trump. Trump doesn't care about censoring people.
Yeah, you're driving my audience crazy. In the comments, Handsome Evil Finger says, MAGA is such a complete idiot. He's just rambling. He's just making shit up. ICE would torture his ass. He's just talking crap. You got a viewer that totally disagrees with you there. I disagree with your... Go ahead.
My sister tried crossing the border with an expired passport. And this was under like Obama.
We're not talking about crossing the border. We're talking about we're not talking about crossing the border, Mac. We're talking about just happening to be walking around in your own damn neighborhood. Maybe you're walking to the local 7-Eleven or gas station to get a pack of smokes or something, and you forgot your ID, and now all of a sudden you're an hour late getting home because ICE don't detain you, demanding you prove you're an American citizen. To you, that is freedom, right?
ICE is also not that stupid. If you're talking like me and you, I don't think they're gonna bug you as much.
You don't think? What does that mean?
I mean, nothing is guaranteed, and some people get.
But if it happens, are you saying? But it could happen. So
anything could happen, Tim. Stop telling me it could happen. Anything could happen.
Okay.
That doesn't mean it's gonna happen, and doesn't mean it's a problem.
Okay.
I mean, they could just go around murdering all the illegals. It could happen.
I would submit to you, it's not that it could happen. I would submit to you that it is happening. I got a video. I'm not going to play it right now because we're pushed for time. I got to move it on, but it is happening. It's not that it could happen. People are being stopped, and if they don't have an ID, they're being held up until they can present one. That is actually happening.
The last lady, the last thing I want to cover, that lady I got pulled out of her car that said she was disabled and bullshit. You don't find it funny that she spent more time talking to the camera than talking to the ICE people that supposedly she gonna hear that were? He told her to move like 10 times. He even signed it, move, and she's sitting there talking to the camera more than she's arguing with the ICE guy to tell her to move.
Nothing you said explains smashing out her fucking window, dragging her out of the car, cutting the seatbelt. Nothing explains busting out her window, cutting the seatbelt off her, and throwing her to the ground.
Let me tell you the rest of the story. So after they kept telling her to move, then it's time to detain her because she's in the middle of an intersection blocking ICE. He goes to detain her. She drives off from the Renee Good driving school with his hand in the car. She drives off. Takes his hand off. But he lets her go. He lets her go and starts talking to some other guy that was next to the car that was also.
I didn't see any of that. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't see any.
That's all the video. That's like the beginning.
I've seen the video, and the video don't go nowhere near like what you're saying is not in the video. What you're saying is not in the video.
I'll show it to you right now. I'll show it to you right now. I'll put my camera on. Give me a second to walk
I can't look at it. I'll just send it to me in the. Thanks for coming through. And by the way, and I didn't see any of that. You guys let me know if you saw it. I didn't see any of what he's talking about. But before I go to the next caller, I do have a video. And now for MAGA Reacts, if you're still listening, I played this earlier, but there's lots of new folks in here, and the audience is, changed over. Here's another actual video of an encounter with ICE.
At my job in the Uber, and this lady just pulls over, and she's like, "Are you a U.S. citizen?" In a parking lot at work. That's the officer lady, and they just shot somebody right now in Minnesota. Imagine that. Are we in Germany? Why are you guys doing this?
You tell me, sir.
Why are you guys going around just asking people like at work whether they're U.S. citizens or not? Are you guys not supposed to be patrolling the border?
Do you want to answer the question or not?
Why would I answer you? Where's your warrant?
We're running your plate.
Run your plates. You do whatever you want.
You can record. Feel free.
Yeah. That's kind of crazy though, right? Like you guys leave the border and go harass people based on their skin color? Ain't that a shame? Are you doing this to everybody or is it just black people? Come on now, you know what it is. You guys just murdered somebody in cold blood in this city today, and God brought you guys to me at work. I'm literally working here. I've been sitting here since 10 a.m. waiting for a ride, and right now I'm getting rides. And if I leave, I'm afraid you motherfuckers might just shoot me.
Are you a U.S. citizen, sir?
Why would I answer you?
Because if you're not a citizen of this country, you have to have your immigration.
Why would I not be a citizen of this country, man?
What a ridiculous question. Why would I have an immigration?
Are you a citizen? Are you a dude? Listen, I'm here working. You're working too, right?
Right.
So it says U.S. Border Patrol. This is not the border. Go to the Canada border or the Mexico border.
I just want to say this right off the bat. Whether you think he's a citizen or not, how many people think he's a genuinely bad hombre coming to rape and murder people? Does he come across like that at all? Because that's what Trump promised us he was going to get rid of. Do you believe that what they're doing right now is trying to get rid of a rapist or a murderer that escaped in a sane asylum or a prison south of the border? Because that's what Trump promised. He was going to get rid of those people. This guy is an Uber driver sitting in his car, no moving violation. He's not out protesting. He's not out agitating or doing anything. They are literally fucking with this dude. They're literally fucking with this dude. And it's clear that the Fifth Amendment, I want to remain silent. They want this guy to talk, and they're going to hold him until they find out what they need to find out. Now, this is what my last caller was suggesting is, quote unquote, freedom. Anyhow, tap the screen, get the likes on up to 70,000. Already at 80,000. We close enough. Tap the screen. Let your thumbs not be lazy. This is uncensored programming as usual. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. We are always MAGA friendly. We always will remain MAGA friendly. Liberals are welcome on the program as well. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. If you happen to be watching us on Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook, follow the program. If you're tuned in on YouTube, give your boy a sub. We're here most weekdays. Don't judge a book by its cover. Your mama ever tell you that? Amongst other people, I feel like I'm in a damn, this can't be real, people selling their souls for a politician. There's a phrase, give me liberty or give me death. Does this look like liberty? Does this look like liberty? You can randomly stop somebody and demand they have paperwork. Shit, anybody hiding out from this is the equivalent of Anne Frank in the attic. Anybody, you got to assume there are tens of thousands of people in this metropolitan area playing the role of Anne Frank right now. There is so many agents on the street. You got to assume there's a hell of a lot of Somalis and things like that that are staying in the house, legal or not. You don't have to be here illegally. There's enough video footage of them mistreating legal migrants that legal people don't want to go outside either. So you got to assume that there's a lot of Anne Franks throughout Minneapolis and St. Paul. Oh, stop being so over dramatic, says Average Kino. You don't believe the ICE agents in this video are being overly dramatic at all, huh? Stopping an Uber driver and doing all this shit to him. That ain't over dramatic at all, huh? I appreciate that. Leo Place, didn't count. Thanks for the galaxy. Appreciate that real quick. Going to the comments. Didn't count. It is. Betty Mike, good evening. Welcome to the program.
What's happening, Tim?
MAGA Reacts followed you. Or previous.
You gotta start pushing back more.
What the fuck you think I was doing? Shit.
Well, maybe.
You want me to cuss him out?
That's it. Well, not cuss him out, but make him. He never sources anything ever.
Did you not hear me? Did you not hear me clearly ask him? If you're saying this happened under Obama, give me everything you're asking was done.
So here's the thing. I will say this, and I believe.
And he says he got the source in the comments. He claims to have the source.
But again, detaining U.S. citizens being detained by ICE under any administration happens.
Mm-hmm.
That's not even really the question, because here's the thing: somebody being detained, illegally detained, a U.S. citizen being illegally detained by ICE, and ICE recognizing that, releasing the person versus what this administration is doing.
Big difference.
This administration said, they told us, and you just said it, but I'm going to say it again. They're trying to get murderers and rapists and the
bad hombres.
If you're saying that, then you have identified who they are based on what you're saying. Because how do you know somebody's bad if you haven't identified them? They would have to have been convicted and identified and fingerprinted and all the things to know exactly who they are.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If they're not doing that, then they're doing what we've been saying they're doing, is saying, if you're black and brown, we're going to racially profile you and check to see if you even belong here anyway, regardless if you've done anything. That's the difference. And now they're saying, well, if they haven't done anything, but they're still not here, quote unquote, legally, well, they should go through the right way when Donald Trump destroyed the process for them to go through the right way.
Yeah. If you come from Somalia and you're here illegally, there is no right way for people that are still in Somalia to come here. There is no right way. I mean, you're right. A lot of folks are suggesting that we don't have a problem with immigrants, just come here the right way. Meanwhile, it's a shell game. You're telling them, look over here while you're destroying over there. There is no legal way. He's canceled entry for most third world countries. That's half the damn planet. So
took away their protected status. So you take away their status to make them illegal, and then you want to demonize them for being illegal when you took the protection they had away. Yeah. That's what they're doing now. And then to just continue to defend it is just the work of some very, very skilled fluffers. These motherfuckers suck dick with both hands and no hands. It is so bad. It's so bad at this point because they refuse to just push back full throttle and say, yeah, this is not what I voted for. Because he didn't tell them this. You see what I'm saying, Tim? It's just funny how they support something that he never told them. And then when we told them that he would do this, they said he would never do it.
I have yet to hear MAGA, most Trump supporters suggest that Trump has done anything that they didn't quote unquote vote for. It. No matter what he does, it does appear that the answer is going to be, yes, this is what I voted for.
I know that's what they're going to say. And that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. They can't say when he was on his campaign trail, I'm going to racial profile anybody that looks like they are Hispanic.
Yeah, but Mike, that may not be, that could be a case of, no, I didn't vote for that, but I kind of wanted it. So I'm glad he's doing it.
Again, and all I'm saying is be honest about your racism. That's all I'm saying. Just own your shit then. But don't try to give
But does it have to be racism? What about it from this angle?
Yes.
Well, hold on, hear me out. What about from this angle? I didn't vote for Trump to stop black and brown people. I voted for him to secure the border and get all these illegals out. But fact is, most of the ones that are in this country are black or brown. And if he stops black and brown people, that is the statistically the best way to net the highest amount of illegals. Stop and frisk all of the brown people.
And again, so there's a key word that I need you to put in there. Stop and frisk brown people illegally.
Well, I think he's trying to make it so it's no longer illegal. But you're right, constitutionally. Yeah.
I'm literally saying the reason I say that because these are the same motherfuckers that voted for law and order. These are the same people that marched through the Capitol for the Constitution. These are the same people that talk about upholding the law. But the funny part is they will usurp it to fit their own narrative. And all I'm saying is, I personally am not going to let you do that in the conversation. Own your racism and bigotry. Just own it. Like MAGA Reacts will sit up here every time you bring him up and twist himself into a Trump dick pretzel just to say something. Like literally just to say it when the humanity in you should show. Listen, at some point, your humanity should usurp your political allegiance. At some point in time, you've got to say, regardless of what happened, regardless of that thing, that's not the right way to do it.
Yeah.
I may want to get the illegals or violent people out of here, but to stop everybody to do it is not the right way to do it. They can't even say that, Tim.
Well, I mean,
let me ask you this.
Sure.
Do you think they would say the same thing if ICE was black agents and they were looking for white people?
It would be like Ashley Babbitt compared to Renee Nicole Good. It wouldn't go well.
That's your answer.
Yeah.
Right. So if that's your answer, then they know they're wrong. See, that's my point. If that's your answer, same premise, just switch the participants.
Yeah.
Make the people being sought after white, and make the people doing the chasing black or minorities. Would they feel the same way?
Yeah. I guess you're asking me if let's say we sent a ton of black federal agents to rural Louisiana or rural Alabama, no, it wouldn't go well. They would not the same mindset they have about being pro law enforcement with all of these white federal officers in people of color neighborhoods. They wouldn't have the same sentiment if it was reversed. That's my opinion. I don't think they would view it the same.
Okay, so, and that's your opinion, and I get it too, and they know it as well. So if that's the case, then they know that what they're doing is racist and it's unlawful. Period.
But how about this in the comments? One of my viewers, J. Kim, says, God, you guys think about race so much. If 2 black cops chase me, so what? 2 cops chase me. So he's saying that race does not play a factor in it.
They always say that when they have nothing else to say, but he didn't answer what the fuck I just said, did he?
No.
So do you mean if 2 black federal officers knocked on their door doing a search, looking for an immigrant at their house, they would just let them in?
No.
Fuck no.
No. Listen, I'm willing to. You guys can accuse me of fluffing all damn day, but I'm willing to certainly see the obvious. I don't know. I do not believe that a host of brown or black cops could go through a white neighborhood doing what ICE is doing in Minnesota in effort to find illegal immigrants and not face severe resistance from the white population. Stopping them and just demanding they prove their citizens, I don't believe it would go well at all.
And you know what the funny part is? The funny part about all of this is, the term Karen wasn't derived from a black or Hispanic person doing something. Where did the term Karen come from? It came from a white woman using her white privilege in certain situations to call law enforcement on somebody that's black and brown, right? So it's not as if people act like what we're talking about isn't existing. This entire movement right now is about race. It just is.
Do you buy into the notion? Now, one of my viewers, before MAGA Reacts, one of my viewers suggested that, I think it was Further Great, somehow, some way, that this is some kind of attempt to whiten America. Do you buy into that?
That's what Stephen Miller said. Shit, that's what J.D. Vance said. Listen.
What are you going to do, kick his wife out? J.D. Vance said that?
Yes. I read you. Listen, I read you the damn forward. What else did you need to?
JD Vance would lose his own damn wife.
Man, listen, Tim. Here's what I'm saying. That's what they have said. It's not my word. That's what they said. That's what he wrote. That's the analogy he used. That's what Stephen Miller said. That's what Steve Bannon said. Why? It's not my words. But then when we talk about race, it makes white people uncomfortable because all they want to do is be comfortable. That's all they want to do is be comfortable in their shit. That's why they want to make America great again. I just want to go back to the time I could say whatever the fuck I wanted to with no repercussion. I just want to be able to have you niggas cross the street when we walk with no repercussions. I just want to have the job that you have, even though I haven't earned it, but somehow you got it. And it just bothers me. It makes me uncomfortable. So I don't want you to have it because I'm uncomfortable. Stop me when I'm telling a lie. Because here's the thing. Because here's what I'm saying. If you look at the crime stats, these immigrants don't even touch the surface on the crime percentages in this country, Tim. You know that. You know that to be factual. Transgenders, the numbers don't even affect anybody's lives. It makes them uncomfortable. Everything I'm saying makes them uncomfortable, and because you're uncomfortable, you want to do away with it.
How about this?
Black Wall Street made them uncomfortable, Tim. Black Wall Street made them uncomfortable.
I don't think Black Wall Street necessarily made them uncomfortable. I think they were just jealous of it. In the comments, real quick, Can B says nobody is tripping about the police asking you for your license when you get pulled over. LOL, but ICE can't ask if you're from another country. Well, real quick, people will complain about the cops asking them for their license when they get pulled over. If they're pulled over for no reason, if ICE had a legitimate reason to question whether you were from another country or not, such as when you're crossing through customs or crossing over an international border, nobody would complain. Nobody has complained. But if you're just walking down the damn street, headed to the local corner store, and all of a sudden somebody pull up demanding you prove you're an American, yeah, you're going to complain about that.
And the funny part about it is, the white Americans always said that you're infringing on their rights. They're up in arms. White people will get pulled over and jump out the fucking car and berate the officer. The fuck did you pull me up? You can pull Tim. Am I telling the truth? There's video after video after video online of white people doing that to officers. That shit's been going on for so long. Comedians make jokes about this
So
shit.
how did it change so much when Trump came along that suddenly something they didn't favor, with police having too much power, they suddenly are favoring it now? What changed?
I'm telling you, he's saying the quiet part out loud, and they've always felt that way. They don't listen. Listen, I told you it's a net zero sum for them. I would rather you not have that. I'd rather it go away than for you to have a little bit. Doesn't even impact me. Doesn't even impact me. How many videos have we had white people asking, or do you belong here? Going into an apartment complex or walking down the street or walking in the neighborhood. The audacity that you feel comfortable enough to stop somebody that doesn't look like, and it's never another white person. Isn't that funny, Tim? Isn't that funny that those videos never depict a white person assuming another white person is not supposed to be where they are? It's never them. It's never them. So when people say that it's us, they don't like to talk about it because they're uncomfortable. But it's uncomfortable. And until they're comfortable, and because they don't want to change. They don't want to learn. They don't even want their children to learn. Let's take the history that makes us uncomfortable out of the history books. We're just uncomfortable. We're just uncomfortable. Tim, listen. I've been telling you this the whole time. It's about them being comfortable, so they don't have to face the realities of this country, and they're willing to unalive those people to do it.
So if it's about white comfort, as you're alluding to, do you foresee a time in the future where whites in the future may be uncomfortable discussing what we supported at this moment right now?
Yeah, and that's why. And here's the other thing, Tim. It's not just about race. It's also because what do they do when white people are out marching for these same causes? How do they treat their own people?
Favorably.
Shit. I'm talking about the way white people see white people that are marching with black people.
Oh, you mean N-word lovers?
Yeah, them
Oh.
people. But now what they're calling it is them liberals. Those liberals. It's another strategy, just like the Southern strategy. That's all this is, Tim. They just changed the word. You fucking liberals.
Yeah.
White liberals. But that's not what they're thinking. That's not what they're thinking, Tim. But everybody wants to dance around the things that I'm saying because they want to be comfortable.
Yeah, listen, at the end of the day, if you're supporting certain causes like BLM or going against ICE, being white doesn't save you. I mean, just like when Cal Rittenhouse took those BLM supporters out, who were all white, hey, they deserve to go. Same way with Renee Nicole Good. They're all N-word lovers. So, I mean...
You're damn right. Even back in the 60s, the Freedom Riders. You had Freedom Riders. When they unalived those people in the car, they unalived that white woman right along with them, brother. They didn't care.
Yeah. But in the comments, someone says there's a difference between protesting and rioting. Is what's happening in Minnesota, though, does that qualify as a riot as opposed to a legal, legitimate protest?
It's going to always, it doesn't matter what they do, Tim. If they sat in the street and blocked traffic, what they're supposed to do is just arrest them. Go handcuff one, zip tie him, set him to the side, arrest him. That's what they're supposed to do. That's what they're supposed to do. And you said it a long time ago. You said it about 6 months ago. If a protest is so peaceful that it doesn't matter, then what was the point of protesting to begin with?
Yeah. The only way you're ever gonna have a successful protest is to push the envelope and do shit. Even Martin Luther King, who's now known as protesting the right way. No, he was going and doing sit-ins in all white restaurants. He was breaking the law. The only way you're going to gain anything is to protest in a manner that the people cannot ignore it. If you just protest the right way where you're not blocking the street, I can drive around you, you're not forcing me to pay attention, then I'm going to ignore you. The abortion protesters are the perfect example of people who protested the right way and they were getting nothing done. People would just drive right around them.
Right. But here's the thing. They protested J6. Violently, they attacked law enforcement, they attacked the federal building, all the things they're saying these protesters are doing, which is why they needed the National Guard and the military and all of that shit. They did then, he didn't call them then, and he partnered the same people. Now you want to demonize some people when you're doing things illegally. Make this shit make sense, Tim.
So let me ask you, this is a question I've been asking other viewers and callers. What do you think is going on in Minneapolis? Why so many federal agents? Is the circumstances on the ground there that bad? Why so many agents there?
No, it's a test. They're just getting started, Tim. People aren't paying attention. They are just getting started.
Just getting started to do what?
On the record, man, this is going to spread from city to city. You don't listen. Let me tell you. You don't double your ICE enforcement. You don't approve that kind of funding for ICE if you think that they are not out to do more than what they're doing now. He's using ICE to build his own little military with the funding, with our tax dollars. There's only 131,000 immigrants in Minneapolis or something like that. It's not a huge number. You said it the other day. 2,000 agents, and they've arrested 2,500 people or detained 2,500 people or some shit like that. Dude, does the math even work out? That's a terrible investment, Tim. If this was just an investment, the money being spent for the results they're getting, the return on investment, you would pull your money right now. Yeah. This is going to cost this country money that we won't recover from for the next 40, 50 years.
Not to mention all the lawsuits I believe are going to come out of it as well, because ICE is mistreating Americans as well. I don't think these stops are legal. Stopping somebody that's sitting in their car just eating lunch, or as an Uber driver waiting for the next call and demanding they give paperwork or they can't leave, I don't think that's legal.
No, it is not. And here's the thing. I mean, if you were sitting in, I sit in my vehicle a lot when I'm working. I stop, pull up my laptop, do whatever.
So do I.
And if an officer pulled up to me and said license and registration, right? A police officer. And I'm not even moving. Nah, I'm getting on. I'm calling 911. I'm calling 911 right now. Yeah, I don't know what
Right.
the fuck y'all got going, but y'all need to get a supervisor out here because I'm not even moving. Right.
Well, the belief from the folks on the right is, listen, it's a minor inconvenience. Your life will be a lot easier if you just comply with the police officer, give him his information, and he'll run you, and you'll be on your way.
Yeah, but again, if you're telling me my life will be easier by allowing my rights to be violated, then I told you this before, Tim. That sounds like you telling a woman, listen, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. That's how I see it. Well, what else is it, Tim? If I have a right to remain silent, I haven't done anything. There's no probable cause that I've done anything because I'm sitting in my damn car. Then you're telling me you could just be easier to just give up your rights. Yeah. And here's the thing. A license doesn't prove you're a U.S. citizen.
No, but they can run it. They can run your license and get your social, and then they can switch over to another database and find out. I mean, it's you can certainly find out by somebody's license if they are a U.S. citizen, though.
Again, all of this, and for what? Because again, if you were just targeting the people you were targeting, you should know who they are. You should have warrants for them. You should have pictures of them. Like Trump was holding up those pictures today.
Mm-hmm.
If those are legit, then why the fuck are you fucking with everybody else? If you got a stack of pictures of the people you're looking for. Sometimes, remember I told you before, sometimes shutting up is the best option. You understand what I mean? Like,
what do you think would happen, though, if you got stopped by an ICE agent demanding that you prove you're a citizen? What do you think would happen if you just went quiet and silent on them?
Well, I have the right to do. They're gonna.
That ain't what I asked you. What you got the right to do don't matter as much now.
I don't know what's going to happen. I know what I'm going to do, and I'm not going to give up my rights because they pulled me the fuck over. I told you what I'm going to do. I'm going to get on the phone to 911. I'm not rolling my window down. I crack it so I can hear them, and I'm going to call 911 and say I've been pulled over by an ICE agent illegally. I'm in California. I know my rights. We're not a 287G state.
And while you're on the phone with them, they'll probably end up hearing your window being smashed out. I got to move it on, but they're not going to wait for you to make that phone call. If they're yelling, we need you to raise that window down, and you dialing 911, you're going to lose a window in the process. All right, last point on you. Go ahead.
I might not be the only one that loses that day. Just let me say that.
Ooh.
Because again, you heard what I said.
Yeah,
I may not be the only one loses that day, but what I'm not going to do is just surrender my rights. Our ancestors fought too hard for us to get the rights we have for me to just lay down and go, okay, you can have it back. Fuck that. I'm not doing that.
I don't want to see you on CNN, brother. Appreciate you coming through. Mike, thank you.
They better leave me alone.
I think they want somebody like you, to be honest with my last caller. Tap the screen, get the likes on up to 95,000. We can make that happen. I think to me, there's a lot of fuck around and find out guys among guys. I think there's plenty of, in the hood, we say the phrase, I wish a motherfucker would. But in other communities, it's called fuck around and find out. They both mean the same thing. I think there's a lot of I wish a motherfucker would or fuck around and find out ICE agents out there. So what my last caller was suggesting, I believe there's a lot of ICE agents hoping to encounter somebody like that. Hoping to encounter somebody that tries to invoke their Fifth Amendment rights or do something. Just looking for, some of them folks are happy to break out windows and cut people out of cars and shit like that. It's not like J.D. Vance didn't make it clear you got presidential immunity. So that's why I said I don't want to see you on CNN as a memorial. Looking in the comments. And by the way, let me ask you folks, by way of yes or no in the comments. If you were doing absolutely nothing wrong, sitting in the car having lunch, walking down the street casually, sitting on your porch just staring into the sky, and an ICE agent came up demanding you prove you're an American citizen and give them your ID, how many of you would, by way of yes or no, would you just cooperate or would you have any pushback? Yes, if you would just cooperate, give him what he needs so he would leave you alone. No, if you would be silent, refuse to do so, invoke your rights, etc., etc. How many of you would just cooperate? Yes or no in the comments. I'm curious to see because that is what the right is saying you should do. The guy is trying to defend the country, get criminals out of the country, get illegals out of the country, help them out. surrender a few rights. It's for the good of the country. That is what MAGA is suggesting. Real Talk says no, and I am a citizen. Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, there's a lot of no's in here. I'm surprised. I didn't get a lot of response from the right, but I did see a few folks saying, fuck no. I hope all of you say no, though. No, because MAGA saying you should say yes. That's what MAGA is suggesting. If you would just comply, you wouldn't have a problem out of ICE. What they're doing, according to MAGA, they're just trying to rid the country of bad hombres and people that should not be here. Do law enforcement a solid, make their job easier, and just give them your ID. That's what MAGA is saying. Just why put up resistance? You know you're not here illegally. You know you didn't do nothing wrong. Why make the day hard for the ICE agent? That is what MAGA is saying. MAGA is saying that because they're white. Says 19 Rob. Well, Black MAGA says that too. Why say no when it feels good to say yes? Says one of my viewers. One of the viewers, Mulch Man, says, why say no when it feels good to cooperate with the ICE agent? I know ain't nothing gonna happen to me. Just give him your ID, show him, do what he's asking, and he'll leave you alone. So Tim saying that because he wants to be white. There is absolutely no hope for me becoming, well, and again, Michael Jackson and Sammy Sosa of the Chicago Cubs, they did a good job in becoming white. I don't know if I can pull it off. Would look really weird. I already refused to give my ID to the RMCP here in Canada if there's no reason to, and haven't for me. Well, in Canada, you kind of have more freedom in Canada right now than Americans dealing with ICE. When an American encounters an immigration official, you have more freedom in Canada when you encounter an immigration official right now than we do. Let me go back to the box. Tell them to take the mask down. That's a good point. Is that you're asking me to prove I'm an American and I can't even see your fucking face. That is a really good point. I don't even know who the hell you are. If I give you my ID and you take off running with it, I don't even have anything to report. I don't know your name. I don't know your badge number. I don't know shit. Why would I want to just give you my license? You may take off and run with it. You might be on some what do they call it? Internet fraud, where you use people's identity fraud or something like that. I don't even know who the hell you are. Can't even see your face. Let me go back to the box. You want me to identify myself while you're talking about you don't have to show me shit. That is a good point. Real quick in the comments there, we'll go to Dencal. Good evening, Dencal. Yeah, but you got to understand why the face covering these off. Hang on a second, Dencal. One of the viewers says, yeah, you got to understand why the face covering. These officers are being doxxed. Their home, their children, everything. Well, why are they being doxxed? To some degree, when you're stopping folks, you have no legitimate reason and you're treating them like shit. I'm just going to tell you, the way the way law enforcement or the ICE police, the immigration police are acting, yeah, you're going to get doxxed. You're treating people like shit. I mean, there's no way around it. Dencal, good evening. Do you support letting them wear masks?
No, they don't need no damn masks. They've been doing immigration and ICE for damn decades. You don't fucking need no face mask if you ain't doing the shit wrong.
What about
if that's the case, then all local police officers, because they actually live close to the areas that they're in. So that means everybody in law enforcement should wear a mask because they're doing their job. I understand if it's like a sensitive, high profile case where it's maybe like a big time, drug dealer, a big time, politician, where they're going to be, where they have big organizations behind them. Mm-hmm. But you talking about running around just snatching somebody out of Home Depot? Who the hell gonna dox them?
But what about this now? MAGA Reacts was on earlier, and he was talking about, listen, ICE ain't doing shit that they were not doing under Obama, suggesting they were randomly stopping people under Obama too. I want to ask is, Do you remember ICE in widespread numbers wearing masks under the Obama administration?
No, because they weren't. They were doing the same type of actions that they've been doing for decades. This is all new, but they trying to make us believe. They trying to twist our arms and make us believe some shit that ain't true. We know better than that. And all of these people up there talking about, yeah, you should just go ahead and let them, do what they want to so they could go ahead and move on. No, that is a violation of our Fourth Amendment rights. And just so they understand it, I'm gonna read.
I don't think they give a fuck about the Constitution or what you're gonna read, but I'll let you read it. But I don't think they care about that.
Right. Okay. The Fourth Amendment protects individuals from unreasonable searches and seizures by the government, requiring warrants based on probable cause, supported by oath and specifically describing the place to be searched and the items to be seized, safeguarding privacy in homes, persons, papers, and effects, while allowing for exceptions to the warrant rule for the reasonable actions. It is a cornerstone of the U.S. privacy rights, preventing general warrants and unjustified government intrusion. They cannot walk up to you out of the clear blue because you look Hispanic, because you look black, or because you look white. I'll even include them. I'm advocating for them too. It ain't happening to them.
Didn't the courts rule that they can stop you for being brown or something like that? And where the language you speak?
That is something that it's been debated, and that's something that that the Supreme Court has kind of allowed to stand. But that doesn't overturn. They didn't overturn the Fourth Amendment. And like you said, them lawsuits and stuff, it's gonna be a bunch of them.
They're gonna have to pass some kind of law to protect.
Because we know when the law went up to the Supreme Court, when they was doing it in New York, the Supreme Court said it was illegal.
Yeah, they're gonna have to pass some kind of law to protect the finances of America because there are so many people that are being wronged by this in terms of having their constitutional rights violated that you're not gonna be to pay them all what normal juries would award. I keep bringing up Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the one that allegedly had MS-13 on his knuckles. That case alone, that dude should be awarded some millions. They sent them to CCOT and then tried to send them to fucking Africa. So
and been fucking with him the whole time, all the way up until like yesterday. They still fucking with him. Like he gonna have so many damn cases. He gonna just pull out the Constitution and give it to the
that guy. Yeah, and the thing about it is when it became known around the Latin world of how they were treating Kilmar Abrego Garcia, Costa Rica stepped up and said, "We'll take him." But the Trump administration wanted him to plead guilty to beating his wife and trafficking children and told him, if you don't plead guilty to this, we're sending you to Africa. We're not going to let you go to Costa Rica. So they actually had a country willing to take the guy, but was using deportation as a punishment, which also is against the law. You can't use deportation as a punitive measure. He got a country that'll take him. If he's not here legally, Costa Rica said he can come. They wouldn't send him to Costa Rica because he wouldn't plead guilty. He has a big case ahead of him.
He gonna be all right after this.
he gonna be having. I mean, I don't know what is the purpose of all of this.
The cruelty is the purpose.
Just being cruel for no reason at all.
Yeah, I mean, you had the leader of the what was it? Christy Nome.
Christy Nome, yeah.
They up there talking about he will never step foot again in this country.
Yeah, and he's here now. He's still here now.
Exactly.
But he could have been in Costa Rica if he's not here legally and he's here to do all kinds of harm and beat white. Costa Rica was going to take the guy. They were so eager to get him to plead guilty to make their claims that he's a woman beater and a child trafficker actually be true because they knew they couldn't take him to court on this shit and win. So they're trying to get a guilty plea out of him. He wouldn't give them that. So they ended up letting the motherfucker stay in the country.
Right. And the craziest thing is
If they would have, when he got brought back, if they would have just shut the fuck up and left him alone, we wouldn't be even talking about. I mean, we might, we might bring him up now and then, but he's still going through this. They keep bringing this shit up because they got this never back down mentality, even when the courts tell them you wrong. The Supreme Court told them, bring the motherfucker back and give him due process. They denied the shit for a while, but eventually they had to bring him back. Now the Supreme Court said bring back all of the motherfuckers they sent over there, and now they talking about, well, we don't even know where they at anymore. We have no way of knowing. You're trying to tell me the people you paid to take these people and lock their ass up in a forever jail don't know where the people is at?
Well, you're talking about the president or whatever his name is of El Salvador. He originally said he couldn't bring back Kilmar Abrego Garcia. He was sitting next to Trump on the couch and said he couldn't bring that guy back.
Yeah, he said because Abrego was a criminal, and that would be smuggling a criminal into the United States. The only criminal, he was never convicted of anything. The only people that said he was a criminal was Donald Trump and his administration.
Yeah. I don't understand, other than you suggesting it's cruelty. But I want to, before I ask you about us being the hottest country in the world, I do want to ask you that. In the comments, one of my viewers is stating, every one of you calling for willful compliance with ICE, he's talking about, are sheep leading the rest of us to slaughter. You dishonor the memory of everyone who has ever fought for your freedom. Ungrateful piece of shits, wake up. I'm assuming you agree with that.
Wholeheartedly, 100%. People that have never had to struggle for their rights, telling people who have had to struggle for their rights, they should just capitulate and give up their rights. It makes no sense to me that people, the same way the people told Colin Kaepernick, well, no, you shouldn't be kneeling during our fucking football game because we want to relax. Now you got the president at every fucking football and hockey and racing game, and they all in there. He in there telling who to hire Jim Harbaugh, telling the football teams who they should.
He's really like big government incarnate. For many on the right who suggest they want small government, he ain't that at all.
I just had a conversation with a guy, I say it lightly, but a friend of mine who was talking that, well, I just want the government to get out of our lives. And I was like, dude, you literally support the guy who flipped the finger at a damn, at a car plant worker because he said something to him. And now the guy's like, he is involved in every aspect of our lives.
Speaking of which, did you hear what he's doing in reference to the Army-Navy game, where the football game, generally people just respect it and they don't have other games on in competition. He wants to pass a law so that he wants to ban other teams from being able to play during the time of that game. He refers to it as out of patriotism, which sounds like something straight out of North Korea, but that's something he wants to do.
It is the craziest shit ever, man. And I'm not trying to have a conversation with him and saying crazy stuff but he's serious though. He's serious as a heart. I just want the government out of our. Remember when they said that to Obama?
Yeah.
Remember when Obama said, look, these people, these big corporations, you didn't do everything on your own. The government is responsible for building the roads and the bridges and the infrastructure in this country, so you have access, to move, your products around. But he said you didn't do it by yourself. Obama, we just want you to stay. We built this ourselves. We did everything ourselves.
Trump is like the definition of big government. In the comments, someone says, Tim, if you agree to all the infractions are unjust, what's your point? Help me out, man. I don't believe one man should decide every damn thing. Whether Jimmy Kimmel's on the air, whether the Army-Navy game can take place, whether you agree or disagree with what they're doing in Minnesota or what they're doing in Chicago. One man is deciding every fucking thing. I don't agree with that. That's the point.
Everything. And he's telling NATO countries, if you don't support us taking over Greenland, then we gonna shit on you too. Like, how does that work? Our allies that are in NATO with us, he's telling them, if you don't capitulate to he said we need to be in total control of Greenland in order for the world to survive. I'm like,
yeah, I don't favor the idea, because I don't think anybody agrees that we need to own Greenland to be safe. Because even the people in Greenland are saying Russia and China are not the threat you guys are claiming they are. Just like, whether it's they're eating cats and dogs in Springfield or they're coming to rape and murder everybody. President Trump has a way of exaggerating stuff and scaring the shit out of people. Biological males are beating the shit out of girls in school sports. When you start looking into it, you find out this stuff really ain't happening nowhere. And Greenland is saying that China and Russia is not that big of a concern to us. You guys are. You guys are the concern. But President Trump is a really good salesman.
We already have a base in Greenland. China nor Russia is not trying to take over Greenland.
No, and the people in Greenland are saying it.
What it is teaching them is that they should go ahead and take Taiwan because it's in their national interest. Russia should be taking over Ukraine because it's in their national interest. That's what he's teaching all of these countries, is that if you are more powerful than somebody else, you can use your national sovereignty or national security to just take over somebody because it'll be in your better interest.
But what about why do you believe MAGA is indeed, because he didn't campaign on taking over Greenland by force, but MAGA is behind this wholeheartedly. Why do you think they see it so differently than, say, you or I, where we don't favor taking over a NATO member nation by force?
Look, you've said it 1,000 times. If he says it, it is so. That is it with them. They can go from complete opposite last week. Well, I'm saying last week, but we can talk about it in its first, term and in the past. Sovereign countries should not be interfered with. That's what NATO was for. We've been protecting sovereign nations all around the globe since World War II. We created NATO for this specific purpose of preventing other countries from doing it. Now we are doing exactly what we created NATO to prevent.
Yeah. I was under the impression that President Trump was going to be, in fact, I used to have a sign behind me that said America First. I was under the impression that President Trump was America First and was going to get us out of overseas conflicts, was going to get us out of playing the world's police. He seems to have tripled down on it. I mean, whether we're talking about Venezuela, Colombia, Mexico, Greenland, we're saving Christians in Nigeria, we've been in Syria, we've been in Iraq, we've bombed Iraq. Like, what the hell is this?
Exactly. How does dropping a couple of tomahawks in Nigeria stop Christians from being it makes that's all it did. No boots on the ground, nobody to verify, nobody to say whether it worked or nothing. He just dropped a couple bombs and they're like, look, he's saving Christians. He probably killed a couple Christians with them bombs.
I don't know, but like I said, I was under the impression that he was going to save us money, focus on America for. In fact, the economy seems to be like something he ain't really paying attention to. It's more, every time you hear him talking, every time you hear Trump talking, it's an international issue.
And that's what his pivot was supposed to be. All of the people in his administration was like, okay, now Trump's did all of he stopped all of these wars and everything overseas. Now he's going to shift to the economy. Soon as 2026 started, Iran, help is on the way. Not a good people. He said the good people of Iran need to keep on fighting, and help is on the way. We coming to save them. Well, we got goddamn people out in the damn streets in this country protesting him. He's saying, y'all keep on protesting Iran because y'all don't like their leadership. But he's telling us in America, I'm sick of the military on y'all if y'all don't stop protesting.
I don't get that. We went from it was bad to help the Ukrainians and waste money there to saving Iranian protesters. All of a sudden, that became cool. I don't. And folks are saying, I voted for this. Like, this wasn't happening. You You didn't vote for it. This wasn't even happening when you voted.
I mean, the big thing was this was supposed to be the peaceful president. That's what they was. Trump just doesn't like war. He can't stand the killing. Now his killing makes everything great.
But what about the notion of peace through strength? Because Trump says we are indeed the hottest country in the world right now.
Define hottest. Like, in no metric are we hottest, except for if you're talking about the temperature of the people of this country. Yeah, we hot.
He suggests that we are more respected now on the world stage than we ever were under Biden, and everybody wants to come here now. People, not that they're going to get in when they get over here, but he suggests we're the country that everybody wants to come to now.
Is that why the leader of Canada just signed a new pact with China and said they're starting to create the new world order with China? Is that what he means by hotter?
How do we reverse that?
Well, it's going to take decades of diplomacy, in trying to get us back to an equilibrium. Right now, we just tilted so much that the president just talks shit about every single country in the world except for Russia. He doesn't really say a whole lot about China either. He used to talk a lot about China. He don't say much about them now that they had their. What did they just had their first $1 trillion trade balance this year. The first time they've had a positive in their what do they
so
call
they're balancing the budget.
No, they're over $1 trillion. They're like their trade deficit. You know, depending like how much you bring in as opposed to how
they're in the black or they're in the red.
They're in the black.
Oh, they're doing well.
Yes, and that was before China, and now China is going to. Canada, and now Canada is going to start sending up.
Whoa, shit! When you think about Trump's tariffs and what it did to the soybean industry, and how all of a sudden Brazil, a lot of countries picked up a lot of work because of Trump's tariffs. A lot of countries are not fucking with us anymore, and China has received the brunt of all of that work.
Right. They have received it. And what people don't understand about our economy is they keep saying, oh, we had a 4% GDP and everything is great. They don't understand that the GDP is controlled by the amount of exports versus imports. So we've taken a lot less imports into our country. So that's what makes it seem like our GDP is going really well, but we're bringing in far less shit into our country. Yeah. That's what makes it seem like, well, the GDP is high, so everything must be great. No, it's not. We're just not making anything. Manufacturing has been down.
I don't like going solely by the GDP, just like going solely by the stock market, because a lot of that shit is only relative to a few people in the country. Like, you start bragging about how great the stock market is when you know a large portion of the middle class and lower have no stocks. That is not a good metric. Groceries and the price of goods and services, to me, is a much better metric, and you notice you don't hear the Trump administration mentioning that at all.
Hey, did you see him the other day when he had that lady in there? They was talking about. He said he asked her to give a few words about how good the grocery prices are doing, and she pulled out this chart. She said, "I just so happen to have a chart." She pulls it out and she shows it, and she's getting ready to start talking about stuff. And he said, "Go ahead and tell them how milk is down 44%." And you can look at the actual thing on there, and it was like milk is down 0.5%. And he said, yeah, go ahead and tell them how milk is down 44%. And tell them how eggs is down 30%. And you could see it like what these particular items were. But he was just making up shit right in front of everybody. And MAGA will pick up on what he said and use that as gospel. The craziest thing.
He's the best salesman on earth. I got to move it on, didn't count, but the guy is the best showman, the best salesman on earth. Go ahead.
One last thing. When people talk about the protesting and all of that stuff, you guys hit on it a little bit, but they seem to not understand what civil disobedience is. That's the only way things change, is by having civil disobedience. They keep saying you're not protesting the right way and all of that shit. And I just would like to ask those people, what in their lives have they ever protested about? What have they ever had to protest that will give them the right to tell us how to protest when black people have been protesting since the beginning, damn near the beginning of this country? They have no idea what it takes and how you're supposed to protest. Martin Luther King peacefully protested. They called him they used to have polls back then when Martin Luther King was alive. He was polling as the worst person in America many years when he was alive.
Yeah, I say that all the time. He is known now in modern times as a guy who protested the right way. But during his time, he was demonized just like BLM, Colin Kaepernick, and the rest of them. He was hated. In fact, there's a reason why he got shot. They didn't like him back then. So the idea that
somehow now the propaganda in America has got people running around on MLK Day saying he wasn't really a good person.
Man, you know something? It's interesting you bring that up. I am really astonished how unpopular, since Trump came on the scene the second time, how unpopular Martin Luther King has gotten. Man, they talking bad about that dude. You would think he was a fucking bank robber the way they talking about him.
Yeah, it is crazy what propaganda can do. And hey, we talking about the head propagandists in charge. You got to give them that.
They want to remove his holiday, sounds like to me. Didn't Cal? Appreciate you coming in. And of course, because I made a video on this, obviously yesterday being MLK Day in honor of the late Martin Luther King Jr., Trump didn't even acknowledge the day. Didn't even acknowledge the day whatsoever. Now, Juneteenth, he did acknowledge Juneteenth, but it was an angry message about how we got too many holidays and now it needs to go away. I don't know what it is about MAGA and black holidays, but they don't seem to believe any of them should exist, because I have had a lot of MAGA tell me MLK Day should never have been a holiday. And they absolutely feel the same way about Juneteenth. It sounds to me, and I got a bunch of MAGA watching right now, sounds to me like if it was left up to MAGA, both of those holidays would go away. Had somebody tell me, the reason, and she was MAGA, the reason that she doesn't honor MLK Day is because Martin Luther King was a person of bad character. I guess he was a womanizer. I've had folks say he's had everything from P. Diddy parties to he was beating on girls. I don't know. But this is what MAGA is saying about Martin Luther King. And I'm thinking, when folks tried to change Christopher Columbus Day to Indigenous Peoples Day, the same folks criticizing Martin Luther King were resistant to that, wanted to maintain Christopher Columbus Day. You're going to tell me Christopher Columbus slaughtering natives, raping natives, all of the stuff Christopher Columbus did to so many, he gets a holiday, but Martin Luther King gets disqualified because of bad character? How does that make sense? How does that even make sense? I don't know. But this is what I had some MAGA tell me. Anyway, looking in the comments, he put his face in the National Park Pass. It's supposed to be nature. Don't quite get that, Lewis. They obviously don't know who J. Edgar Hoover is. Listen, I'm going to tell you this. The bad character stuff in regards to Martin Luther King predominantly originates from the FBI, because they were doing an investigation on Martin Luther King. So, there's an MLK files, just like there's an Epstein files and a JFK files. Trump was supposed to release all of that stuff. That never culminated. That's something people voted for. When folks say, well, I voted for this, that was a promise he made. Those promises have not been kept, but he was supposed to release. Anyway, with MLK, knowing the sentiment this country had towards the late civil rights leader, do you believe the FBI was investigating him from an unbiased, fair, and balanced standpoint? Under Hoover as somebody, do you believe that? Because that's going to, look, if you don't believe the January 6th hearings committee on Trump in January 6th, but you expect people to believe the FBI, the same group you wouldn't believe on Martin Luther King, does that make sense? You think the FBI was biased on Trump for January 6th, but they were honest about Martin Luther King. An all-white FBI was honest about Martin Luther King, but they lied about Trump. And that makes sense. Anyway, looking in the comments, Trump said in the briefing that he's glad Christopher Columbus Day was back. Yeah. Tim, you know nothing makes sense with MAGA. Some things make sense with MAGA. Some things. Another Trump quote that I do want you guys to hear, because President Trump often says a lot of things that are very interesting. Let Trump say it.
Went there 500 years ago and then left. That doesn't give you title to property. So we'll be talking about it with the various people. We've had tremendous success, and I've done more for NATO than anybody else. Well, I don't.
What has he done for NATO? Where is that coming from? T. Stevens, good evening. Welcome to the program, Stevens. If it brings him up, I thought he was coming up there. What is Trump? He's boasting that he's done more for NATO. Now remember, Trump is also on record suggesting he's done more for blacks than anybody since Abraham Lincoln, and I can't find anybody black that agrees with that. But what is he? I would be curious to see if there's anybody that's a member of NATO that agrees with what he said as well. What has he done for NATO that's so great? Said he done more for NATO than anybody else. I would be curious to know what he is suggesting that he's done for NATO, because I'm not aware of what he's done that's so great for NATO, other than demanding they pay their fair share. But he didn't do that. They did it.
What is it with you? Why do you like the right cock in your mouth so bad? Why can't you not push back on your little maggots? Why can't you? You don't have the balls to? Do you need some balls? They'll give you some. Damn. That's why it's so hard for us. Yeah, the same ones that put you in a damn tree, you stupid idiot.
MAGA is allowed to speak just like you are.
No, you're allowed to speak, but you can't push back. And you can tell them that Biden has more jobs coming in instead of losing them. You can't tell them that Biden did more opportunities for us black folks than he ever has. You can tell them the damn truth and quit being a cocksucker to the white man. How about that?
How about the fact that Trump stated he is giving us the hottest country on the planet? So maybe what he's...
Yeah, we're hot, all right. We're going to burn. Because you know why? He don't like none of our fucking asses. He don't like our black asses. And you're like this. Yes, baby. I'm a house ninja.
What has Trump... Wait a minute.
On your head.
You just said Trump does not like our black guys. What has Trump did to indicate he don't like black people? Where are you getting that from?
Are you... You're drinking bleach, aren't you? Well, you was adopted, huh? You was adopted, wasn't you? Because I know you're ugly.
Oh, my God. Well, I'm asking the question. What has Trump done to indicate he don't like black people?
Are you serious?
I got several hundred viewers that want to know. I got MAGA viewers that want to know what the hell you're talking about.
Do you see this? Let me tell you, I have to be nice because you know what? I'm going to go the fuck off on you. You know what? You make me sick. You ain't no black man. Because you know you push back on me more than you push back on your little maggots. You don't tell them, yeah, Biden did shit. You know what he has done. He has taken Black History out of books. He has taken, he wants Juneteenth out, right? He took away Martin Luther King crap. He didn't even say shit about Martin Luther King on Martin Luther King Day.
That ain't. So because he didn't say anything about Martin Luther King Day, that means he doesn't like black people. Already, somebody don't like you. Already, wow. Go ahead.
It's the truth, Tim. You know what, Tim? You are one of these type of Negroes that sit up here and cock block and say you can say anything you want. And say, but you don't push back on them. That's why we have to fight so hard. You allow them to push back the misinformation. Say, oh, Trump's economy is doing good. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not doing good.
You didn't hear me suggest that groceries are not...
No, you didn't suggest nothing. You didn't say, you know what? Biden's economy was on fire. Biden's economy had more jobs coming in than we're losing.
You really think that? Wait!
No.
Wasn't Sam Hill? You think Biden's economy was on fire? What the hell are you talking?
Yes! I made more money under Biden, you dumb nut, than anybody. I made more money under Biden than Trump. You know what? You are a bag of fucking dum-dums.
You said
we have dum-dums on both of you. I bet you didn't graduate fucking 5th grade, did you?
you want to criticize. You want to criticize me. You want to criticize me on having these kind of conversations, and then you come on here and say Biden's economy was on fire. What the hell is that?
Go look at it. Go look at it. Go look at it. Go pull up the statistics. Go look at it. We had more jobs coming in. Our unemployment was lower than anybody in 50 fucking years. Go look at it. Go look at it. Yes, he had 9% when he came in, and Trump had 14% unemployment. Go look at that. He had 9% because of C-19, and then he dropped it down to 2.4%.
Ain't nobody. I'm gonna tell you, ain't nobody buying that shit. Biden's economy was on fire.
Yeah,
really?
You like cock in your mouth, don't you? You like cock in your mouth. You're dripping it. You like it up your ass without lube, and you say, "Oh yes, master. Yes, master." Go look at the statistics.
Well, speaking of statistics, according to Sean in the comments, Sean1228 says you need to turn off MSNBC with that shit.
Go look at the statistics. It is right there. It's under it. It said Biden's economy was on fire. We didn't have the tariff wars. Our shit was going down. Our food prices are going down, and everything else was. It was going down. It was going down slow, but it was going down.
I got across the platforms. I got nearly over 1,000 people. Let me ask this question. Everybody else that's tuned in is hearing my caller by way of yes or no in the comments. How many of you agree with her that Biden's economy at some point was quote unquote on fire? If you agree with her, put yes in the comment section. I'm curious to see.
That's how. You shouldn't have a platform if you don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
On
you bring
fire.
The damn facts. You bring the damn facts. When you push back, you show me statistics where Biden's economy was shit. So you won't do that to MAGA Reacts. Yes, master. Oh, it was my groceries was high. It's higher now than it was under Biden.
I think in the comments, Asumi Noah, DVL16, I think he said it best. He said it's better than it is now. I agree with that. But on fire?
Yes! Do you understand that we had more money in our pockets than we had now? Do you understand we're going into a recession? Do you understand that people can't afford groceries right now? That's how high it is? Oh my God. The gas price is 20 cents cheaper. I'm going to pay $20.
MAGA React said the economy right now is not worse than it was under Biden.
Okay. And that's why he likes dick in his ass.
What the fuck? Wow.
He likes to write that pinky winky into his ass so hard that he'll say anything. He likes it just like you. Yes, man.
What the hell was that?
You know what's funny? And do you know what's funny? None of your motherfuckers that voted for him will ever be sit at his table because he thinks you guys are trash and garbage. That's what's fucking funny.
Well, I can't.
That's what's funny. You will be at Biden's table before you be at Trump's table.
I agree with that.
Because Biden understood. You'll be at his table before you be at the white man's table that says, yes, master, you'll be at that. Because he don't give a fuck about none of y'all ass that voted for him. You dumb nuts.
Listen, so far the main thing I disagree with, I don't see Biden. I think Biden's economy was on the upswing, but I don't think it was on fire.
It was. You know what? He grew the economy so well, he brought people coming back, making more jobs here. He did everything right. And you sorry son of a bitches always knocked him down. Knocked him down for everything. Oh, he's sleepy. I'd rather have a sleepy Joe back than I'll have this mofo in office that's going to put us in World War III. That's how stupid you was. You always brought that man down. You always talk shit about him. But you are a sorry son of a bitch. I can't stand you. I can't stand none of you asses.
Well, first of all, I didn't bring Biden down.
You always talk crap about Biden. Oh, Biden this, Biden that. I'd rather have Biden right fucking now and his economy right fucking now than what we're going through right now. All the hateful rhetoric. Oh, but you'll be loving maggots that you so-called kiss ass to.
I want to tell you something, Gangsta Grandma. While you're touting the accomplishments of Biden, he's the reason you have Trump now is because he didn't become
No, dude, the reason why we have Trump right now is people like you.
No,
They're always
I didn't vote for Trump. I didn't vote for Trump. You're wrong. You're wrong.
I'm calling your black ass out. You stood up here and said, "Oh, the economy wasn't good. The economy wasn't good. Oh no, oh no." That's why we did it. And then the same motherfucker that you said, "Oh, she wasn't a good candidate. She's not a good candidate." It was you. You're the type of fucking people. The people that didn't vote, that stood out because I didn't want to vote for her. I didn't want to vote for her. Or the people, oh, she was a black woman that wasn't educated, that will put us in a war. Those are the people that I can't stand, and you were right.
Well, while I begin to explain why I disagree with you, folks, help your boy out with finish that TikTok cap. Hat and mustache go, show us the program some support. Reason why I vehemently disagree with you, Gangsta Grandma, is because if Biden had been a one-term transitional president and did not try to run again, certainly after that terrible debate performance on June 27th, if he had to step down and quit trying to do some shit that everybody realized he couldn't do.
They kicked him out. They kicked him out, and it was.
Wait, hold on. You're saying they kicked him out. What are you saying? He should have went all the way?
I wish he would have. Honestly, look what we're in now. Look what the hell we're in now. You guys think that this is awesome? This motherfucker's gonna put us in World War III. People can't stand this man.
Thank you for that hat and mustache shirt 14. Yeah.
You know what? You know what?
I think you're crazy.
You know why? Did you know why Biden never preached about what he did? Biden never was glorifying what he did. But in the back scenes, he did a lot of shit. And the only reason why is because they thought he was old.
You really wanted him after that debate performance where he was talking out of the...
He was sick.
Then why go out there?
God forbid our president was sick.
Okay, I get sick. I was sick the other fucking day. That don't mean if you ask me what the... That don't mean if you ask me what... That don't mean if you... Hold on.
Yeah.
When I was sick, if you asked me what the weather was, I wasn't going to talk about what's under the hood of my car. Sick don't make you do that.
People like you that did this shit, that said that she was uneducated, she wasn't going to be good.
Not talking about her.
They gave her all this shit. Everybody went against Biden because they swore up and down he wasn't doing good. Because he never bragged about it. He wasn't like Trump. He never came on TV and said, "This is what I did. He was showing people what he did. But we have so many uneducated morons in this country that didn't understand how the economy works and how what he was doing what really was working.
I'm just shocked. I'm just shocked that you can ramble on, but I'm shocked that you think Biden should have went all the way and ran for a second term after that debate.
We would have never been in this situation.
Yeah, you would have.
Do you comprehend that, Tim? Do you comprehend? Oh, yeah, put your head down.
You think Biden would have beat Trump for a second term?
He would have beat him. Look at all what he has done. But you know what, though? Tim? People like you make me sick because you never give Joe Biden no kind of credit for nothing. Our economy was on fire. Our economy was going good. He wasn't losing jobs. He was bringing jobs.
That ain't got shit to do with what we talking about.
Jobs he did. Millions. Now look, the first when he stepped in, 300,000.
Let me see what the hell the people have to say in the comments. If Biden had have done what she is suggesting, Who would have won? Biden and Trump part 2 in the comments. Hold on, let me ask them, not you, goddammit. I know how you feel. But in the comments, Trump versus Biden part 2 after Biden's horrible debate performance and the record he had to run on, what you're seeing on the economy, what you're seeing on the border, and things that people were upset about. Who do you think would have won in part 2 in the comments? State Biden or Trump? Who would have won? Because I think you're insane. Go ahead, gangster grandma.
And I think you like cock in your mouth. And I think you like dripping it too. I think you're a sorry piece of shit of a fucking man. That's what I think. That's what made Biden and them lose. Because you assumed Biden was so horrible. I'd rather pick Sleepy Joe Biden right now than this fucking fool in office right now. And that's the damn truth. That is. Because people like you, the non-voters, and the racist pieces of crap that voted for him, all this is all hate and all hatred that we're seeing right now. He never liked none of us. And why do you think now he wants ICE to pull any of us over? And we have to show proof that we're United States citizens? Our Fourth Amendment is on the line?
So let me ask you, if Biden...
People like you fat fuck.
If you believe Biden would have won so wholeheartedly,
He would have won.
Then why didn't Kamala Harris win?
He would have won.
Then why didn't Kamala Harris win?
Because she was a black educated woman, and people are so racist in this country. They didn't want to vote for her because, a woman was starting to work. What are we at now? And it's a white man right now. Huh? What were we at now?
You know my answer. This woman didn't win because she's a bad fucking candidate. This woman right here is a bad candidate. That's why she didn't win.
And if I was right there, right next to you debating, I would have slapped the fuck out of you. I would have went down for DV. That's the shit right there. That's the shit right there that lie made her lose. Oh, she's the worst one. She was the worst one. Why, Tim? Because she's not a fucking snow roach that you couldn't fuck her, Tim? Huh?
Bad candidate.
She doesn't have roast.
Bad candidate. I met her, took photos with her. I was at a fundraiser, all that. Bad candidate. I got a picture with her and everything.
She was a snow roach, Tim, that you couldn't fuck her, right, Tim?
I'll tell you this while you're asking about fucking her. She's really attractive in person. When I gave her a hug, she's a little. I would go all through. I would
fuck you, and she would have, because the way you talked about it, she would have given you the time of day. I wouldn't give you the time of day. I have to pick up a damn. What is that? What is those?
Bad candidate.
A jack to get your dick up.
Well, first of all, her husband. You talking about snow roaches? Her husband is white, so she probably don't like black guys anyway.
That's better than you. I would never have a man like you. The way you degrade us black women and stuff, and you be picky.
They took Gangsta Grandma down, unfortunately. She's always welcome back on the program. It's getting kind of regular with Gangsta Grandma that the TikTok app takes her down. We don't censor anyone, but I can't control what TikTok does. So we lost my last guest because she got censored. And I see the comments, both Pizza Lover and Miss Portia both says, thank God. Followed by Real Talk, or better yet, Mr. Lover says she told the truth. I stand by my original, and I voted for Kamala Harris, by the way, folks. I did vote for Kamala Harris. When Trump started talking about giving police immunity from prosecution in liberal cities, I didn't give a fuck about anything else. Economy, you name it. Nothing else was important to me. And I had plenty of shows stating that. When he talked about giving, and I didn't think Trump was that bad on his first term. But when he started talking about giving police immunity from prosecution, that was a deal breaker. And I had a lot of MAGA hammering me talking about, no, he's only talking about qualified immunity and he's not going to do that. Well, look what ICE is doing right now. And look what J.D. Vance is telling them. You got immunity. So he is doing exactly what he said he was going to do. He is actually doing that. The word qualified, as MAGA often criticizes me with, that word has never came from the Trump administration. Not once have they ever used the word qualified as a predecessor to immunity. That was a deal breaker for me. I didn't need to know anything else. Just like I don't care what a candidate is running on. If he talks about, like Beto O'Rourke, you're damn right I'm going to take your AR-15, the right ain't going to vote for you. The rest of that shit don't matter. You talk about taking away somebody's guns, the rest of the shit you're running on is irrelevant. When he talked about giving police immunity in liberal cities where I live, I didn't need to know anything else. That was good. So I didn't vote for Trump based on that sole issue alone. He could have been fantastic on the economy, outstanding internationally, awesome in every other category. If you're going to get a police immunity in towns that I live in, that's a disqualifier. Real quick, looking in the comments. Okay, this super chats just because the shit you have. Handsome conservative supported the program. He said, okay, this super chat is just because the shit you're having to listen to with Gangsta Grandma. Thank you, handsome conservative, by the way, for your support. Andrew has, wait a minute, in the comments, so you're out here doing illegal shit. You're worried about something that wouldn't affect you. That comment is beyond moronic. There is a reason why virtually every lawyer in the business tells you never consent to a search, only tell the police the minimum, don't answer questions, don't volunteer, because they're letting you know the police cannot be trusted. They don't tell you, well, just comply and just let them look in your car and just, no. Any defense attorney would tell you to give the police only the minimum the law requires. So when I get somebody in the comments suggesting that you're doing some illegal shit because you're worried about the police having immunity, it shows pure ignorance. Because this is based on you shouldn't expect a cop with immunity to ever do anything wrong. They all are legal. They all follow the law. Despite literally hundreds, if not thousands of videos readily available all over social media of cops doing bad shit, planting drugs, beating the hell out of people, taking property that's not theirs, etc., etc. For you to make a comment like that reeks, smells of privilege. You obviously have never been in a host of shit that many Americans have to say something like that. Give the cops immunity, and if you're doing nothing wrong, you have nothing to worry about. What happens if a cop just finds your wife fucking sexy and wants to pat her down and squeeze her tits? Give them immunity. They would never do that, despite documented evidence of cops raping people all over the fucking place. Makes no sense to make a statement like that. It makes you look really, really poor in terms of your wording and judgment. Anyway, look at it in the comments. I like that you're getting yourself out there because it somewhat makes you safe. Then again, everyone is looking at you, but people would notice you before me. Anybody defending giving police immunity, for lack of a better term, you're crazy. Police are human too. If the police pull you over, you got 5 or 6 G's on you, or you got a bunch of money on you, or diamonds or something. There's a lot of police that are unhappy with the 70, 80,000 a year they're making or whatever. And maybe the fact that you're making twice, if not much more than them, it just might be fucking jealous of you. It might relieve you of your valuables. Well, you've given them immunity now. You assume they wouldn't do anything wrong until it started happening to you. In fact, I would submit to you, that has happened to a hell of a lot of people that voted for Trump. Is they didn't believe that anything he was promising to do would affect them until it actually started affecting them. And now they're like, holy shit, I wish I had never thought that was a good idea to put in office. Immunity for police officers. I actually have somebody in the comments defending that bullshit. That is fucking disheartening to even hear anyone, left, right, or otherwise, a goddamn American defending giving the cops immunity. What happened to the right not trusting the fucking government? Heard all about this on January 6th. Suddenly you get your guy in there and you want to get him fucking immunity. The same guys, many of the same guys that investigated your guy, because he's now president, you want to get the same guy's immunity. God damn it, that's crazy. It's your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. I've had enough for tonight after that. Follow the program if you're watching on Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook. Give your boy a sub if you're watching on YouTube. I'll catch you tomorrow. Take care.